started right now. Welcome to Streams of Collective Consciousness. I am Ellie, your host. I go live very often, actually, Tuesdays and what is it? Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time. Thank you everyone for jumping on so quickly. 2 people already. Wow. I feel so special. Hopefully you can hear me well. We're gonna talk about a lot of exciting things. We're gonna look at the VMA best dressed, even though I technically don't go by that. Like, I'm just gonna see what other people said was best dressed. We're gonna analyze the designers, but I'm not fashion police. I will never be fashion police. I think as an abolitionist, it's not ethical to be police today. And we're going to be talking about brand deals. So Laufey, I think her name is. She's a musician that's really popular on TikTok. Has collaborated with Everlane, which is this very acclaimed sustainable fashion brand that I've always been kind of iffy on. Yeah, we'll get into that and why I feel that way about Everlane. And then we're going to be exploring other fashion topics like Depop. They have a new campaign that recently came out, and it's just kind of weird. Everything is just kind of off with it, and it's very surrealistic. So, yeah, we're going to explore that as well. But let me test the audio. Let's see how I sound. I'm all up in your space. Everything is just kind of off with it. Okay. Yes, you can hear me perfectly. Not like last time I was shouting in the mic. Okay, so to show you how the stream works, basically I work out of a Canva deck that I share in my description. This is for you to use. It's free. I use it for my live streams to keep my news segments structured, and I follow this almost to the T. I jump around here and there, but I normally use this every single time I go live. I'm not a procrastinator. I don't just like freeball it when I come to my live streams. I'm a very type A personality. I like to have a plan. I like to say that I'm planning my life, like I plan my fate, if that makes sense. I don't leave things to chance. And there can be spontaneity, like some randomness in there, but it kind of goes along with the news I'm talking about. So if you don't like planned content, then you're in the wrong place. But it's basically the same thing. I just mostly talk about sustainable fashion. That's mostly what I concentrate my energy into. I try to take a break around 5 because self-care queen is me, or trying to be at least. It's a practice. And then I do talk about environmental things, but I mostly focus on positive news. I used to focus more on social issues, but it's all like deeply entrenched with sustainable fashion. So when I'm talking about fashion brands that are trying to be sustainable, I'm also inherently talking about like labor wages, unions. I'm talking about capitalism and billionaires, which we'll get into today as well, because there was some union leaders that were put into jail because they were trying to basically make a union, right? And they're basically charged with all these random things, and then their family really suffered. But they were like the shoemakers of a major company. So everything is basically combined together. When I talk about sustainability, I'm talking about social justice. And then I do try to end off the live stream with more fun stuff, because it can obviously get very, very serious. And I don't want this to be super, super like, oh my god, doom and gloom, like everything is effed up. No, like I want it to be a place where we learn and like kind of digest the news in a fun way. I'm always open to suggestions. This is starting to feel like a presentation. It's not supposed to. But suggestions here in the forum, can submit them. This is in my description. I also look at chat, but I forget what you people put in there. So I forget my own name sometimes. So if you expect me to remember what you want me to talk about next week, it's probably not going to happen. So this is just something that I always have to look at. But to get into the news, I always start off with personal updates. I think it's just fun to share my personal life, even though people kind of like are starting to perceive me in a certain way based on what I say. But I mean, I love sharing a bit about myself. I hate when people are so impersonal. I think that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. When I was in a lot of sustainable fashion movements and community spaces, it became just about the topic itself, and it didn't really reference back to individuals fueling the work. I never really heard their philosophy in life. I never really heard their feelings or their true thoughts. It was very much a filtered process of like, this is wrong, hence we need to take action in this campaign. And I would admire the leaders leading the fight, whether in activism or, you know, grassroots initiatives or in volunteering. It's just, I didn't know them. I didn't really understand them on a personal basis. And just for context, I've been an activist for the past 7 years, but it just felt very dry of a process. Like I never really felt super connected to people. And one of the solutions when you encounter that is to have a one-on-one, which is to basically build personal relationships. And a one-on-one is like you sit down with someone and get coffee. It's like hanging out. It's professionalized hanging out simply to get to know someone that has similar ideologies as you in a similar group or in a group that you're already involved in or interested in volunteering for. And that's when I was able to be like, oh my god, like I know this person now, like I can trust them. They're not this rando that like has the same ideologies as me for a political topic. You know, like it humanizes people. And I think live streaming is such a great way to humanize individuals who care about a topic. Like usually, for example, in sustainable fashion, it's very professionalized. You jump on very corporate meetings, no matter if the organization is a nonprofit, and you just kind of listen to very curated stories of people's journeys. You hear like very selected, like nitpicked ideas that are going to work well with the corporate relations team in that organization, or has been vetted by 500 people to be shared out to like a Zoom meeting or in a Instagram post. And it's a lot to like process, for me at least personally. Like I'm like looking at where's the real parts of this person when they're like making this presentation. And when it comes to live streaming, I love when people are just themselves, when they're cursing, when they're angry, when they stutter, when they like get upset, when they're really tired and yet they're still live streaming. And that authenticity cannot be replicated anywhere else. Not even in a YouTube video, because you can edit out the ums or like the frustrated parts. For example, like in my last live stream, I was just going through life. Like, there was so much going on, and I like literally was having the AI read tool on the website to read the article, but I was on a phone call. And I just was playing videos, but I was on a phone call. I mean, it wasn't the best live streaming tactic to do, but like it was reality, it was real life. In a meeting, they wouldn't have been honest. They wouldn't have shared like that they were struggling. They probably would have been like, "Oh, I'll be right back," and like remove themselves to like take the call, which is, I mean, normal standard. But I was trying to multitask. But I guess the point being is like I'm frustrated a lot of the times with professionalism. It's soul sucking, and it makes you feel like a carbon copy of who you are. That's at least what I experience. It's you become a shell of yourself to please others for money, for convenience, or for whatever else to be liked. I don't care about being liked. I've never cared to being liked. That's why I've pushed myself to be who I am my whole life. Like live streaming is a perception game a lot of the times, but I know who I am, and if people don't understand, then their perceptions don't matter to me. But it's scary how they can form ideas or feelings that are not my reality, and it becomes their reality to believe something that's not true. Like, but I can't control that, and that's like the thing that I worry about the most. um but I've been working a lot. I work as a receptionist right now, so I just came back from 7 hours of being a receptionist, and I feel like I was gonna cry the entire day. But I mean, as a receptionist, you're like constantly being thrown into social issues like, where's this, where's that, how do I sign up, who can contact me about some random railroad tracks that are being sold in the middle of nowhere, Illinois. How am I supposed to know that answer? I have no idea. I was so pissed this morning to get up and to go to work. I had to wake up at 6 in the morning. I had to wake up at 6 in the morning. Let me say that one more time. I had to get up at 6 in the morning to go to work. It's like no one's gonna be happy when they get there. I had to be there at 8. I I take forever. I take forever to get ready. It takes me an hour and a half to get ready. Like beauty wise, just mentally wise, I just sit at my desk and I talk to myself. And I do my hair and I get ready, I put my makeup on, which is not even that much. It just takes forever to like want to do something. So it's always been like that. Even in college, no matter if I was like double majoring in business and fashion, I had like 6 classes, basically 18 credits. It would take me an hour and a half to get ready. So I'd wake up way earlier. Like I've never been someone to just wake up last minute. I don't know what last minute waking up looks like. When there was camps or when there was retreats, and the first class or like first session was at 7, I was up by 5. Standard is I take 2 hours to get ready. I don't really enjoy life like IRL streams or IRL life basically. It just takes a lot of processing for me to get ready, and then by 8 I'm like, oh my god, I've prepped so much for this moment. I don't want to be here. Like no one wants to be a receptionist for $15 an hour, and then you're answering everyone's randomest questions, and you're like, bro, you could have figured this out if you had just looked at the website. And these are like Gen Z people. I'm like, bro, you should have known better. You should have known better. So I kind of get frustrated, and then I leave by 3. I get home, I eat, and I barely like set up, and I'm live, which is what I live for. I love live streaming, and I'm really happy anyone tunes in. This is what I basically live for. On my Instagram, I actually shared a sneak peek too of like what's to come on my YouTube channel. I've been alluding that I'm going to be uploading, that I've promised so many times I'm going to upload on YouTube, but it hasn't happened. So there's a lot of excuses, and I know that. I know that of myself, that I was tired, that I was busy. Those are excuses. I can make time. But genuinely, like this Sunday, I lost the SD cards. I lost many SD cards because I was looking through my SD holder. I'm missing a couple, and I own like 15 SD cards. If you don't know what SD cards are, they're like the brain or the memory of the camera. It's the memory card. It holds the footage. It holds the files. And I lost a couple of them. I don't know where or how I lost them. Maybe they fell when I put them in my bag, because sometimes I just put them in my bag and I then plug it in to the SD card reader when I get to the cafe. So maybe it got lost in the process. I don't know. But I was going to upload a vintage market vlog that I worked so hard to make, and it was almost done, and I don't know where that card is at, so I lost the file. I didn't save the file on my computer. I don't have a backup. There's no way to retrieve it unless I have that SD card, so that's why I didn't upload this Sunday. But I am going to be changing a lot of my YouTube stuff. I'm going in a new direction, and I'll do an update video that I will not lose and upload this Sunday. Basically doing more fun, surrealistic, like fashion design videos, trying out like fashion styling concepts that I'm really excited for. So I'll explain that in a short video, like a maybe 4 or 5 minute video, and then go from there. But I think it's very much aligned to what's happening with the full moon and like the Pisces season. There was like a 10-year curse break that I was hearing for Pisces that started back in 2015. When it was 2015, I had just started college. So to think back, like where I was at when I was 18, I was such a different person. I was super religious, but I was just starting off learning about sustainable fashion, and Fashion Revolution was like a major organization for me to like learn about all those topics, and I was such a fan. It was actually like their like second year or first year operating, and I remember like loving their resources, their guides. So I discovered Fashion Revolution pretty early on, randomly through a Google search. And yeah, so yeah, 10 years has been crazy. Supposedly a curse has been broken. I don't know what curse has been broken if I'm still working $15 job, $15 an hour jobs. Like it is, I think I'm earning less than I did 10 years ago, because I used to be paid like 16 at my college, because I used to work as a costume shop associate for the theater people. So I don't feel a curse has been broken financially, but I mean, I'm just myself, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel the same. I feel the same, but I would like to have more money. I would like to have more money, please. But I've been yapping for quite a while, so we should get into the news. Other than that, like, I just want to do content. I want to do my YouTube videos, and I want to be paid more. Like, if I can find a job that pays well, or if content creation can, like, go off and, like, be a stream of financial help or financial support, then that would be great. But for now, that's not happening. But I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting it, and I have a lot of other goals as well. So it's not like things are lost. My life is still very full and promising. Oh, but for these people in ASACs, I thought they were called basics. This logo makes it look like a B. I thought it was basics, but it's ASICs. But I thought it was basics. I don't even know. But I recently, to get into the news, I recently saw Clean Clothes campaign release a statement that I found very interesting, and it caught my attention because I was not aware of this topic. But it says, we wish we could stop talking about ASEX. ASEX? I don't even know how to say that. I think I'm saying the wrong thing. But they're not giving us a choice. Your pressure is helping, so I think they're talking to us. Journalists started to ask ASEX. I cannot. Okay, we're not going to say that brand name. It does not sound right. Journalists started to ask this brand, which is a parent company of Onitsuka Tingero Official. Oh my god, what are these names? About the online outrage about their behavior. Their spokespeople are saying beautiful things about listening humbly and their values, yet promises are being broken as soon as they are made. Union leader Sean, who was forced to work in a outbuilding away from other workers after his release from prison, was supposedly to be fully reinstated at his job September 1st. Make a guess. He is not allowed to enter the factory proper. I think the sentence is wrong. I think he's not allowed to properly enter the factory unless there's a very specific repair he needs to carry out. And yes, he still has not received compensation for the fact that he was put behind bars for his basic right of starting a union. This brand is hearing you and responding. Let's tell them to do better. So it goes into detail in this post. So it says, what happened again? So last year, the Wingster factory working for this brand jailed a worker called Shein, trying to start a union. After his release, he was not compensated for his plight and was forced to work isolated from other workers. After many of you called them out last month, this brand responded, but they immediately broke their promise. God dang, what is wrong with I'm not gonna get pissed. I'm not mad. Nope, I'm not mad. I was about to yell. I was about to yell so bad. No, I don't want to start off pissed. I gotta rein in the emotions. That was horrendous to read. They jailed him for starting a union. Oh, I was gonna get mad. I think I am mad. Okay, so a spokesperson of the brand told journalists who asked for comment on the social media outrage that Sean would return to his original position on September 1st. The date came and went though, and Sean still isn't allowed in the factory unless there's a very specific machine repair he has to do, which again we already went through the caption. But reality check, Sean is isolated from coworkers that he tried to organize to address labor right violations in the factory. That is so unethical. You're gonna keep this man isolated for the rest of his life, but you have to have him working there because you don't want the outrage, the backlash from everyone else that is looking into this case. And the Clean Clothes campaign basically says that this brand is using very fancy statements about their values, but we still see little in practice. Instead of compensating Sean for his plight, they are proposing an investigation. Sean's family was financially ruined by his 6 months of imprisonment. Further delay is unacceptable. So we repeat, This brand must ensure that Sean is paid compensation for the time he was in jail and fully reinstated at his job with the ability to work among other workers. So the 20K workers of the Wingstar factory has a right to stand up for their own rights and can work in decent working conditions. Or I think they're saying they should have the right to work in decent working conditions, which is, I mean, it's common sense right here. Like, everyone wants to have decent working conditions. It's just the common case for union leaders is they get penalized legally by brands so they can shut up and sit down. So I think this brand instilled fear and real repercussions if you do stand up for your own rights and do try to create a union. Sean is brave. Like, he's very, very brave and courageous because the cost was very heavy. Like, when you're struggling to make money, when you're already very poor and in poverty, you risk making it worse if you stand up knowing how harsh brands treat those that want unions. Like, his family had to suffer when he was in prison, not because he wanted that to happen, but because of the cruelty inflicted upon him. He had to go to prison for 6 months, and his family suffered for it. And there's another article that explains how he was imprisoned that I can track down, and we can read that together for context or like more just background. But in any case, like, he was falsely charged with something, put into prison, but it was like an excuse, you know. It was an excuse of like, okay, we gotta put him away. Like, they found any reason to put him away, basically, but it was unfounded. So let me look at the article that shells out what I'm talking about, because I'm trying to recall the details. But I have a memory of a fish. I have a memory of a fish. Also, for the 4 people watching me and listening, thank you. You know, it's crazy because I've been watching streamers that went to Streamer University, which is like this huge event by Kai Sanat, and they stream on YouTube and they get like 3 views at a time. So if I get 4 views at a time, that's like major. That's major. Like, people actually care. And I didn't even go to the biggest university streaming thing. Isn't that interesting? Y'all care, which is amazing. Y'all want to learn. You want to learn. Okay, let me figure this out. What's his name again? Sean. Union leader Sean. Why is he's separated like he's some outcast forced there? Because if he's like taken out, then there's gonna be so much backlash. Okay, so I think it's this one. Yes, it's this one. So all of this information is on Clean Clothes Campaign. They're a wonderful organization. I definitely recommend you visiting their website, following them on social media. But this article back in August does give more context. So basically, this brand was facing a lot of international backlash because they backed a Cambodian supplier factory that had put a lot of criminal charges to this union leader. So they were just this ASEX company is connected to a factory that put these criminal, supposedly false charges onto this union leader for 6 months. So Shia Sean is a father of 3 and was actually a former mechanic. So this is a guy who's still being separated, who's being penalized for trying to start a union, and he was violently arrested without a warrant at the supplier factory that is operating for this brand ASEX earlier 2024. So he spent 6 months in prison on charges later ruled baseless. Did you guys hear that? He was put in prison on baseless charges or claims. Baseless charges / he was imprisoned for no reason. So when we talk about sustainable fashion, when we talk about brands, when we talk about unions, this is what we're talking about. This is a real life consequence of a brave worker, a brave mechanic at a shoe factory being charged for things that are not true and yet had to spend 6 months in prison because that's how much power these brands hold. And yet now he's still being separated from all the 20,000 workers in this factory because he's a risk. Courageous people are a risk to the standard way of society. No one wants a rebel when people want control. Would you want to keep the rebel in your group if you want control? Probably not. You would be like, shoo shoo, go away, stop talking, stop yapping. I can relate on a personal basis about being shunned for being brave because I always ask questions, and that can be a threat to establishment. It can be a threat to like the control others want to hold over you. But if you want things to change, if you want things to be better, you have to like stand up and question things and take action to retaliate. So this also explains that his 6-month imprisonment basically devastated his family, and it forced them into debt, and it stripped them of their home. This is the real consequences. So he basically said, I had to lie to our 3 children, telling them their father was working in Thailand, when in reality he was in prison for defending worker rights, said his wife. She didn't even tell the kids. She just told the kids, oh, he's working in a different country. Oh my gosh. She should have told them. He's such a brave man. It sounded like the wife was ashamed of him. Tell them the reality. Like, what's going on here? What was his wife thinking? I don't know. I would be like, yes, my husband is a proud union organizer. That's just me. That's just me. And then this brand, Asics, has refused to provide Sean with compensation for the harm to his health and the deep financial losses his family suffered during his 6-month imprisonment, more than a year after his release. And like, to remind you of this update post, like, they have not done anything. So this is like a pressure to like right the wrongs. I'm trying to like stay composed. Also, key tip about me is like, if my voice falters sometimes, it's because I'm trying not to get pissed. Like, I swallow down my anger. Like, I'm like pissed. I'm a very passionate person about union rights and like worker rights. It's so infuriating, so upsetting to know that people want a better life for themselves and their families and for their coworkers, and they get penalized, and the brand in charge that they're working for does nothing to help them. It makes me so angry. Oh my gosh. But the thing is, listen, so after Sean's false imprisonment, fear has silenced the workforce, in part because the factory management continues to punish him by keeping him confined at work and segregated from the larger workforce. Workers say the Ministry of Labor, aligned with factory management, harassed other union members to deter organizing. So today, 20,000 mostly women workers report that they endure extreme heat while working with toxic glues, illegal overtime, and denial of sick leave, even to pregnant women with medical notes while earning little more than $1 an hour. Welcome to capitalism. Welcome to capitalism, guys. If you're in denial of the ills and the issues, look, there's people making little more than $1 an hour, and there's denial of sick leave even for pregnant women. Oh, what an era to be in. I thought we were like the most advanced species in the world, and yet we're so cruel. But there is people that are trying to do good, like cleanclothes.org, such a great resource to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of people fighting against this case. So Nikki from Clean Clothes Campaign said, where in cases where this has happened, where union leaders are penalized, brands have ensured that compensation is paid to workers. So in case of Cambodia during the pandemic, a worker called Soy Sros was imprisoned over a Facebook post, and she rightfully received compensation for such brutal abuse of her rights. Sean was imprisoned for even longer, but this brand is refusing to ensure that he receives this money. So it's very cruel. So again, like, this brand hasn't righted their wrongs. And it's very upsetting. And they should, because they know that the brand represents itself as one that likes discipline, integrity, and athletic excellence. But again, like, sometimes they can market something and it's not actually true. So it's just ironic. It's very ironic while the workers are denied even their most fundamental rights. So when I talk about sustainable fashion, I'm inherently talking about social justice. Like, I don't have to be explicit. Like, if people don't like my angle, they don't like my angle, they can go somewhere else. But the reality is, when you talk about sustainability, you're talking about the fundamental parts of our society, which is capitalism. You're talking about globalization. Like, you can't remove sustainability from these topics. Like, I think our current economic system has to be grappled with and understood, and sadly in a way accepted, because it's going to be a long road ahead towards socialism. I will gladly fight for a different economic system, but what we have right now is capitalism, and we have to understand why and how it operates to, like, get somewhere better. And right now we're not doing too good. Like, Wingstar Shoes, which is owned by the Taiwanese firm New Star Shoes, has a long record of labor violations while producing for this brand. In 2013, they even had a ceiling collapse at the factory that killed 2 workers, including a child. Including a child. Did you hear that part? They had an incident in 2013 where a ceiling killed a child. What was a kid doing in their factory making shoes? Shouldn't he be at school? Now, this is not the kid's fault. It's more of a systemic fault. That kid should have been at school. And that factory should have never hired a kid. I get that poverty is really, really bad and people have to work. But I think we all have to ensure that our children, everyone's children, goes to school. And this brand pledged reforms after public outcry, but watchdogs say the promises have proved hollow. So there is not a lot that has changed, hence this post. But that is the reality of these major brands. So the thing is, like, when we're shopping in the store, in the malls, wherever, like, they're not going to specify that they falsely imprisoned a union leader to keep costs low. Because you know what happens when they increase the cost of something? The billionaires get less money. And now, within capitalism, if less money is being earned by billionaires, then it's not capitalism. It's the system is not functioning, because the system should be the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And that's just how it's supposed to be. You know, that's what they say it's supposed to be. So imagine if they actually pay the union leader and they pay everyone else a proper wage and they get health benefits and they get breaks. The system is going to get broken. The billionaires can no longer get their billions. And then, like, what happens? The society will collapse. That's what the Republicans say, right? But these people are just asking for basic rights. All they want is to earn enough to feed their family, to send their kids to school, to have a chance in life. But the billionaires refuse because they're like, we need to keep the system so it can make more billions. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. Because this brand, I'm sure it has enough money to pay their workers fairly. But if they do that, they're going to produce less shareholder value. And then their company's a failure. So no, they cannot have union leaders. They cannot be ethical. They cannot actually live their values out. Hence, they're going to avoid accountability and to fix the harms that are done upon these workers if they stand up. So that's just the reality of the fashion industry, and this is why I go on live stream. I don't care who's listening. I don't care if it's 4 people. I don't care if it's 100 people. I don't care if it's 10,000 people. I don't care if it's 0 people. It's just not right. I would say the same thing to my friends, to neighbors, to strangers, to myself. Like, This is the real consequence of our current capitalistic society that has no limits, no sense of accountability, and no humanity within their business practices. That's really it. It should be a shame if you want to continue buying from them, let's say because you're poor and have no other option. Times are tough, I get it, but if you can avoid this brand, avoid the brand. You don't need to give their money. You don't have to give your money to them. Oh, and also talking about like billionaires and money and brands, it was actually reported that the richest man in Japan is Tadashi Yanai. I think I said his last name right. But he's basically, oh my god, I'm getting pissed. I can't talk anymore. He's basically the founder and president of the brand Uniqlo, a major fast fashion brand. I want to go on so many tangents if I speak, but let's see if we can find anything on this man. This man likes to work. He's an old man. I don't know what he's doing. Oh my gosh, should we react though with Hassan reacting to VMA moments? That would be meta. So my dream is to like, one of my many dreams, why is there a, he needs a shirt. One of my dreams, oh my god, cannot talk, is to actually review like fashion moments with Hassan. A socialist fashion girl with a socialist political commentator shake hands and they review fashion moments. That is something I look forward to. Okay, so going back to the richest man in Japan, Tadashi, the workaholic. He has made Uniqlo grow so that fast fashion can emerge. Okay, let's see. What can we find about this workaholic? Let's see. His story. Oh, The Rich. This YouTube channel is literally called The Rich. Oh my god.
Tadashi Yanai is a Japanese billionaire entrepreneur, best known as the founder and president of Fast Retailing, the parent company of the popular clothing brand Uniqlo. Born on February 7, 1949, in Yamaguchi.
Bro, why? It's the AI robot talking. We don't need this. Okay. Oh, how a Uniqlo founder became Japan's wealthiest man. So, again, to clarify, there was a report saying in 2025 he was like the wealthiest Japan person. But he has been one of the richest men. So let's see. This is nothing new, I guess. It's nothing new. Okay, is this in Japanese? Wait, let's find a better one. He's been at it. This is a 13-year-old YouTube video. I don't see any good videos. Let's see. This is 7 years ago. Wait. Uniqlo's US expansion. No, they're actually in Chicago. Tadashi. Okay, let's put his name, Uniqlo, and then fast fashion. I think we'll get that to what we wanted. We'll find something like that. Keywords, people, keywords. I need to remind myself that so people can actually find out about my content. Okay, alright. Oh no, this is not good. Uniqlo does not use the Xinjiang cotton, which is like from forced labor. Oh no, okay, let's listen.
Now to the world of fashion, because the boss of the Japanese brand, Uniqlo, has been telling the BBC about his ambition to become the world's biggest clothing retailer. Tadashi Yanai is already the richest person in Japan, with a net worth of more than $45 billion. His company is called Fast Retailing, but he doesn't want to be associated with fast fashion, as he's been telling our Marika Oi.
I'm at one of Uniqlo's latest stores here in Shinjuku at the heart of Tokyo. This year, Fast Retailing, which owns Uniqlo, has achieved its goal of generating an annual revenue of 3 trillion yen. To become the world's biggest retailer, though, it needs to at least double that. But the boss, Tadashi Yanai, even has a bigger target, a revenue of 10 trillion yen. Age 75, can he achieve that as the company's president before passing the baton to his successor?
I like to achieve it, and I believe I need to achieve it. In order to do that, we need to imagine how different a 10 trillion yen firm is from a 3 trillion yen firm, and recreate our company every day. We want to change people's perception about clothing, that it can continue to evolve.
Bro, they just said they're not a fast fashion brand, and what are they doing? They're selling some freaking weird fast fashion items.
I want to ask your views on today's fast fashion industry, especially Chinese retailers like Shein and Temu. What do you think is the future of this industry?
I don't think there's a future for fast fashion. They're producing clothes without any careful consideration, which you can only wear for one season. That is a waste of the planet's resources. You can wear Uniqlo clothes for many seasons, the shirt or the sweater that I'm wearing today. I have no idea.
You know, it's so interesting that these major fashion brands are all rejecting the idea that they're fast fashion. Like, for example, Shein says that they're an on-demand company and not fast fashion. Look at his smile. He's like, make me some money. I'm a billionaire. We are not fast fashion. And then he's like, yeah, there is no future for fast fashion because what we're doing is, in fact, things that you should be owning for years and years and years. That's not fast fashion. That's what he's saying. No, we're not the problem. Everyone else is. But if Shein's not the problem, and Uniqlo's not the problem, who is the problem?
How old they are.
I want to ask you about China because its economic challenges have been affecting your performance there as well. What's your strategy there? Do you think you're going to need to change your strategy or outlook there?
I don't think we need to revise our strategy for China. There are 1.4 billion people, and we only have 900 to 1,000 stores. I think we can increase that to 3,000 stores.
I want to ask you about supply chains because Uniqlo has been trying to build supply chains that customers can trust, where there's transparency about the environmental impact and human rights. Is this because of a controversy over whether Uniqlo uses cotton from Xinjiang? You didn't confirm nor deny that back in 2021. Can you clarify if there's any cotton from Xinjiang in Uniqlo products?
No, we're not using cotton from Xinjiang.
No, we could not confirm or deny a couple years ago, but for sure right now, no. Did we probably do it 4 years ago? Did we probably use forced labor cotton? No. But maybe in the past, but right now, no. What type of answer is that? If you're not using something, you say no. If you have no response, it's a probability of guilt, which implies a yes. He gave us a chance to believe that they used cotton made from forced labor in China. Does it look like I'm going to trust this brand? No.
You know by mentioning which cotton we're using. Actually, it gets too political if I say any more.
It gets too political if I mention more details about how we, as a brand that we swear is not a fast fashion brand, produce our stuff. It's too political, guys. Guys, the next time you ask me about my ideologies, it's too political because we're just a fashion brand. No, it's not like we're deeply entrenched in global supply chains that are directly built by those in power. No. Don't ask us questions because it's too political and laughs it off. You're a billionaire, bro. Your money is built from political ties and activities and laws. You are political. You've benefited the most from these issues.
You know by mentioning which cotton we're using. Actually, it gets too political if I say.
Oh, we swear we don't use forced labor. Oh, but actually, I'm going to retract my statement and say I'm not going to expand on that statement because it gets too political. So he's also avoiding going into detail about the production or like the story of the clothing he makes because he swears he's not fast fashion. Hence, we don't got to give you details. Just believe us, trust us, give us your money. That's it. That's all you got to do. Make it simple. That's what he's saying.
More. So let's stop here.
Uniqlo's success is partly due to its focus on
Let's stop here, but give me your money. That's what he's saying. As a billionaire, he just wants your money. That's really it.
clothes that are essential to customers' day-to-day lives. For example, the Heat Tech collection to keep you warm in the winter has been a lasting hit. For hot weather, it also sells the breathable Airism line of clothing. Both of them were developed in partnership with...
Nope, it's too political, guys. It's just too political. We can't learn about the products. It's just too political. Okay. Oh my god, someone said focus on what's best for your customer, not politicians' lies. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't really think that billionaires should exist. But I mean, it's a consequence of what I've been talking earlier. The suppression of unions, the suppression of good wages for workers, the suppression of political rights and humanity for others. These are fundamental rights that are stripped from people to make cheap goods. And it amounts to this. Billionaires with no boundaries, no accountability placed upon them. They refuse to accept the truth of what they're doing, which is basically fast fashion and overconsumption and commodification of goods. And then they don't even want to talk about where their cotton is made from, and they avoid explaining whether that cotton is made from forced labor. And then they close off the conversation and they're like, yeah, we're not going to talk about this. We're just not going to talk about it. Do we want leaders that are like, no, I'm not going to expand and shut up? That's not the type of leader that we need. And we shouldn't be making billionaires more rich. I think what we need is more people paid fairly to live a good life. I think we all deserve that, no matter where we're from. I don't care if you're from Taiwan or Japan or India or Mexico or whatever. I don't care. You deserve a good life. I don't care about these random statements of like, oh, that person deserves this because of that or blah, blah, blah. No, like, everyone's human. Everyone has feelings. Everyone wants and should have a chance to life. That's really it. These billionaires they've just taken advantage of a system that has allowed them to make and make and make with no stop and end. But we live in a very finite planet. We're currently in a climate crisis. There is a limit to how much we can produce, to how much we can overconsume. Uniqlo doesn't really sell stuff that we need. Dare I say, like, it's just random stuff. Okay, let's see what else we can find. And they just sell basic clothes. Maybe that's another excuse of why they're like, oh, we're not fast fashion because we sell basic clothes. But I do want to know, like, where they produce or, like, the process of their production. But I think I'm going to have a lot of problems and trouble figuring out the exact factories. Because these brands are notoriously difficult to track down and understand on a very finite level. Like, you get the big picture. You get to, like, really understand, like, their aesthetics and their models and, like, their campaigns. But, like, you don't know their supply chain. You don't know, like, literally what the factory looks like. It's sad. I want to know what the factory looks like. Let's see. But he's the richest man. A fashion brand has created the richest man. Okay, I don't see anything else that catches my eye. So we're gonna probably move on. Let's see if I had other points I wanted to talk about before. It's probably maybe like rants and like my dissatisfaction with billionaires. Because I did make some notes. Takeaways. 9/9. Oh, it's 9/9. Oh my god, it's going to be 9/11 in like 2 days. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. How old was I? I was like 4 years old when 9/11 happened. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I first read this article and I was looking at Tadashi, I was like, when is enough? Like, when is he gonna stop working? Like, why does he need so much money? Okay, you've become a billionaire and you've been a billionaire. Why do you need to keep working? Go home, bro. Just go home. Be with your kids. You have kids, I don't know. Be with your kids though, or your adopted pets that can become your kids in a way. Or explore, just go out there, bro. There's a lot of adventures to be had. There's sun to be felt. There's water to be drunk. there's just so much stores to shop at. Like, that's my confusion. Like, why do these people work so hard to be millionaires and billionaires and then don't really enjoy it? Like, you don't have to keep working, you know? You can just have your small house and do whatever you want. It's just, I feel like they've traded their life, their whole life, their entire life to money. But they're never going to have enough time to spend it if they keep working. Isn't the point of working to live? Not to live to work? You know? At least that's my bias. And like my personal philosophy on life, just to share, is that we're not going to be buried with the money. Like, quite literally, we're probably not going to be buried with bills. We're not going to be buried with coins. Maybe we'll have like some sort of accessory or whatever, but that's not money. That's an accessory. And you can obviously pass down the money to family, which is like generational wealth, but the money doesn't stay with you. It goes and rewards someone else that had nothing to do with your hard work. So like, I guess my question is like, why work so hard when you're never going to enjoy it yourself and someone else is just going to be like, yay, grandpappy worked so hard for me and now I get to be a nepo baby. Like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to make nepo babies? They're going to live comfortably, like they're going to have the best life ever, but they're probably never going to work their dang life because you made them a nepo baby. So why don't you just enjoy your life and stop creating nepo babies? We don't need nepo babies. We just don't need any more of them. There's too many. Also, another question is like, can billionaires be ethical? Do you think Tadashi became a billionaire of Uniqlo on a fully ethical basis? Did he make the right decision over and over and over and over and over again to be a billionaire? Or did he maybe make the wrong decision or make an immoral decision? That's for him to tell. I'm not holding his hand. I have no way of knowing. But like, I feel like the assumption is if you're a billionaire, you've sacrificed some sort of morale, some sort of humanity to get to that level. And my assumption is it came at the cost of poor workers that are in deep/extreme poverty. They will never work themselves out of poverty when they get paid little more than $1 an hour for extreme hours of work where they're not even allowed to like stretch or go get water or go to the bathroom. So what good is it that we have billionaires that are ethical when we have dying workers at the bottom of their factory floors? So my assumption is that they're not inherently ethical, because if they were ethical, we wouldn't have these issues. This wouldn't exist. But that's an assumption. Maybe there is an ethical billionaire somewhere out there. Maybe they're just a lucky nepo baby and they just fell into the money. Or maybe they worked really hard and now they have all this money. But working hard and becoming a billionaire, like, usually doesn't go hand in hand. It's almost like when Donald Trump was like, oh, I just had a small loan of $1 million to make my business. A small loan of $1 million made you more rich. Where's my $1 million small loan? Like, I think a lot of times the people that get the wealthiest or have the most money didn't, quote unquote, work hard to get that money. They had some other privilege, some support, or some thing allowing them to get a boost up. I wish everyone had a boost up. I wish I had a boost up. And I'm not saying like poor people will never be able to get up and like be rich or be successful. It's just some people have more likelihood to be successful because they have a lot of privilege or a lot of support, a lot of networks. But that's not like a universal generalization. Like, there's a lot of things that can always happen that can change people's circumstances. Like, the richest person can become bankrupt. Like, for example, I've been looking at what happens with the lottery winners, and a lot of people go bankrupt, and I was so sad. I'm like, what if I made $1 million overnight from this lottery ticket and I become this rich person and then I go bankrupt? That could happen. But just because you become a billionaire or millionaire doesn't mean, like, your life is magical and you can make more money inherently from it. Like, some people just lose it all for whatever reason. It's kind of common. The dumbest lottery winners of all time. Wait, we should watch this and then we'll get into the VMAs.
Tina used to worry about bad.
Tina! But to make it very clear, I do not like billionaires and I don't want them to exist. And I think we can have fair distribution of wealth. You know? You know what I mean?
Lottery ticket in the bin to spending an entire $16 million prize in under 90 days. These are the absolute dumbest lottery winners of all time, beginning with Jose Antonio Cuartoc, who almost lost his entire lottery fortune after getting someone else to claim the money for him.
Why would he do? Why, dude? Why? I would be going to claim my money ASAP. Why would he send someone else? Buddy, why? Why did you do this? What made you so busy you can't go do it yourself?
You see, when Jose won the $750,000 jackpot back in 2010, he was living in the US illegally, so Jose asked his boss to claim the prize on his behalf, as he...
Bro, never trust your boss. What is the one rule? Do not trust the boss. They may say, hey buddy, we're family. You run, bro. When they say you're family, you run. Nope, don't trust the boss. They just want your labor. They just want your
feared he
labor.
couldn't claim the money without potentially facing legal trouble and deportation. This worked out perfectly until Jose's boss began to falsely state that he was the one who had actually purchased the ticket. Taking legal action against his boss was risky, given Jose wasn't supposed to be in the country at all. However, given he had security camera footage of him purchasing the ticket, Jose did so and was able to prove that he was the rightful owner to the $750,000 prize.
What did I say? Do not trust the boss.
Only $250,000 this went to taxes, another $250,000 was...
Oh my god. That's like all the money just gone. Oh, you win $1 million? Guess what? The government's gonna come in and extend a little hand to you and be like, give me the money. Give me the money, buddy. You're gonna have like $10,000 by the end of it. Actually, a good prediction, if you win $1 million, you're probably going to keep like maybe 150,000. That's an approximation.
Spent on court fees, and throughout the legal process, Jose was jailed for drunk driving and was deported back to Guatemala as soon as he won the court case. However, at least Jose Antonio Cuartoc got to keep some of his winnings, as Denise Rossi wasn't so fortunate. When Denise won a jackpot of $1.3 million back in 1996, she'd been married to Thomas Rossi for over 25 years, yet their relationship was apparently lacking in transparency, as Denise didn't tell her husband about the win, and instead
marriage lacked transparency. I just want a simple $1 million. It just did not feel like telling him. That would be so me. Be like, oh, I just want a casual $1 million. It was not your business to know. Oh my gosh, they got divorced. What a surprise.
filed for divorce only 11 days after buying the lucky ticket. I was afraid to tell Thomas because I knew he would try to take the money away from me. I went to the Lottery Commission office and told them I was married but contemplating divorce. They told me to file before I got my first check, which I did. Denise was initially successful in hiding the money from her now ex-husband, as for a whole 2 years after their divorce, Thomas had no idea that Denise had ever won the lottery. However, in May 1999, a letter was sent to Thomas's home address asking if Denise was interested in a lump sum buyout of her lottery winnings. This was the first Thomas knew about the lottery.
Uh-oh. Not the letter. So he didn't know why they got divorced. The dissolution was entered April 7th, 1997. Then in 1998, Thomas filed for bankruptcy. He was so poor, he filed for bankruptcy. Then 1999, so like literally 2 years after they got divorced, he got that letter. Why did it take them 2 years? For the lump sum buyout? Why didn't she change her address as well? There's just so many questions. Hi, Marissa. We're learning about lottery winners because I don't like billionaires.
prize. He confirmed that Denise was a winner with the California lottery, and given they were still married at the time of the win, Thomas launched a lawsuit stating that he was entitled to half of the prize money. The judge specifically found that Denise's failure to disclose the lottery winnings constituted fraud, oppression, and malice, and as a result, the trial court awarded Thomas 100% of the lottery winnings, which left
100%? No. Okay, I don't like millionaires nor billionaires, but Thomas does not deserve 100%. She divorced this man for a reason. Maybe I agreed, but for a reason. Let a woman live for once.
Denise with less than nothing, considering she also had to pay for her own legal fees. However,
are you serious? She couldn't even get some legal funds. Oh my god, she had to cover her own costs. Who was this man as a judge? Because I know it was a man. He was salty for her ex-husband.
Denise's loss of $1.3 million was still nothing in comparison to Evelyn Adams. Dubbed the luckiest woman in America, Evelyn Adams became the first person in human history to win the lottery twice, initially for $3.9 million in October 1985, before winning another $1.4 million only 4 months later.
I feel like the world was like playing with her. They were playing with her. She won twice and she lost it all twice. Oh no, girl. Adams, what was happening?
The probability of this win being approximately 1 in 17.3 trillion, Evelyn seemed to realize that she had no lottery luck left by stating that she was going to quit playing and instead began to buy various businesses, including the convenience store where the lucky tickets had been purchased. While you could argue that this was a smart move, Evelyn still hadn't fixed her gambling problem, and instead of buying more lottery tickets, she instead took the rest of her winnings to the Atlantic City casinos, where she lost her entire remaining fortune to the
She lost her fortune to the slots to make more money. She's like the luckiest, both unluckiest person ever. You should have stayed home, girl. Bought yourself a nice suburban home and called it a day.
Slot machines. Without any money left, her businesses failed one after the other, and by 2012, Evelyn was living in a trailer park while stating to the media, winning the lottery isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Kelly Rogers likely had a
oh my god.
similar outlook, as after winning
See? Go big, you go home. Quite literally. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was a bit of a tangent to say the repercussions of being a millionaire is scary, and there's a lot of decisions you have to make and weighing who you want to be and how you're going to navigate all that money, where you're going to work, and what you're going to do with your life. But to move on to fun parts of this live stream, let us watch my favorite socialist. What did I say? My favorite? My most favorite socialist that I kind of don't watch anymore. So I used to watch Hassan, who is a political commentator who's a socialist, a lot. Like I would listen to him like 4-5 hours a day, constantly, and his voice kind of calmed me down. But now recently I've like stopped watching him. I don't know why. I don't really know why. I think just the news is very overwhelming, and I don't know what to do about everything that's going on, and I can only focus on so much. Like I'm even struggling to like upload a YouTube video. I don't know what to do that can help the world in a bigger way besides my advocacy for sustainable fashion. So when I listen to all the things he has to say, I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to do, so I don't want to listen. But I do want to listen to him a bit more. I think he's a great character, or a great person, and he does a lot of like fashion commentary when there's like big events, and it's funny because he's like an INTJ. He's very logical, very like monotone, but very like critically analytical. So when it comes to fashion, a lot of times we're like, oh my god, I love that dress, and oh my god, this is so fluffy, and oh my god, it's so pretty. And with him, he's like, that does not go with this and this and this. You know, it's like an interesting perspective to see from from someone, because you don't really see that type of person giving fashion commentary, but he loves fashion. He's like very serious a lot of the time, so it's a very interesting thing to watch. So let's watch him analyze the VMAs, and I'll give my comments on it. Also, I do want to note that I don't feel comfortable judging people for what they wear. I'm not fashion police, and I'll never want to be fashion police. So in the future, I will most likely be watching Hassan critique these events and these like fashion pieces, if that makes sense. Like, I will be, I guess, reflecting on his judgments. And most likely I predict that I'll be saying, oh my gosh, she's being so harsh, it's fine, or like, oh, she was just trying to be creative. You know, I see myself saying that. I haven't seen the VMAs. I didn't watch the show. I didn't tune in. I'm going to be reacting to everything for the first time right now. So yeah. But it'd be so funny if one day I do end up collaborating with like someone like Hassan, who's just so logical and like analytical, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, so pretty. That'd be so funny. Oh, I can just imagine it. Okay, let's see. I in a way wish I could be fashion police, but I don't know how to judge people that much. Like, I don't really look at what people wear. I don't know if that's a fun fact, but I don't really look at what people wear. I'm obsessed with fashion. I care about fashion. I think about fashion. I make videos about fashion. I read about fashion. I live stream about fashion. I make TikToks about fashion. I design fashion. I resell fashion, but I don't notice what people wear. It's like I'm in my own bubble. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm wearing myself. Like, it's so interesting. I feel like I'm just in my head, like it's a theoretic, or just like I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it's something I like to think about and like to feel, but I don't really pay attention to it on other people or even on myself. I don't know how to explain it. But hopefully that's an interesting fact that you found interesting to know. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Where was that video? I want to react to Hassan's reaction to the VMAs. There was also some YouTubers that were able to go to the VMAs, and I was like, wow, they're getting invited? Okay, so let's change to this. Perfect. Let's do this.
Well,
Yes.
All right, Denny, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
We'll
having
be
me.
back in our plus hour to talk more about
No. Lenny Kravitz has had one too, famously, but that's not what I'm talking about. The Lenny Kravitz one is a very famous one, obviously. Okay, VMAs wise, this is what I saw. This is what made me feel old as hell. Look, and the wins and whatnot. Did you guys watch the VMAs, by the way? Are the VMAs?
See, this man does not know what he's about to speak on. He's like, did you guys actually watch this? Is this important? Is this relevant? He does not know what he just signed himself up to. It's gonna be so funny.
Washed, or are they back? I can't get a good assessment on anything any longer, because like I didn't watch it at all. I don't know what was happening, but do people actually watch it? I don't know. I'm sure people do.
See, I literally said he was gonna ask that question. He has no idea what he's gonna be looking at. It's gonna be so funny.
Did you stay up late? I did. We welcome you back to CBS Mornings because last night was MTV's Video Musical.
You know, it's so funny because I'm watching him watch a news reporter watch the show. It's like one reaction after the other, reaction after the other reaction. Very interesting.
Awards. It's all about bringing the people together, and there were big star performances, big for every generation, like Steven Tyler to Sabrina Carpenter, love her, we talked to her last week, to Songbird Supreme, Mariah Carey. There's only one. Now, not everybody got to go, but guess what? Entertainment Tonight's Denny Directo was there.
Is he cleaning his teeth with a His hand is all been all in his mouth. You know, I hate that. I hate when people do that. They use those little things to take the little pieces of food out of your mouth and you do it in front of you when you're trying to talk to them. It like pisses me off. And he's doing this in front of like 50,000 people because a lot of people watch him for his socialist takes on politics, and yet he's doing this in front of so many people. I would die of embarrassment. It's also just giving me like anxiety watching him do this.
And the VMA video of the year goes to...
That is healing all different kinds of trauma.
And Mother Monster won Artist of the Year, beating out Taylor Swift and Beyonce.
I dedicate this award to the audience. You very much deserve a stage, and I give you all my applause.
That's crazy. There's another Haus Nowhere head performing.
The night was full of nostalgia, with Ricky Martin performing a medley of his hip-shaking hits as he received the Latin Icon Award.
He said her skin tone changes with the government law. Yo, chill. It's a bad time. Yes, Ariana Grande is white again, okay? She has done all of the races, and she's done them great. I don't know why people criticize her. Maybe you're just jealous, okay?
And Busta Rhymes was honored with the first ever Rock the Bells Visionary.
I may also skip forward on some of the things that he says, because he does yap about like the most random stuff. Okay, like he hasn't even, we're 2 minutes in and he hasn't even commented on any of the fashion looks. And also I do want to say, like, from the outside looking in at this show, at this recap from CBS, all the celebrities kind of remind me of like the era of 2010, like early 2000s. I think that early 2000s is coming back in. I can feel it because every time I go on Pinterest, it's no longer like Y2K, it's like early 2000s. I was looking at articles this morning while I was at work. 2000s. Maybe it's my algorithm, but I hate 2000s fashion. I don't like it. I hate it, actually. I was raised in the 2000s. I went to high school in the 2000s. It was the ugliest fashion ever. I hated it with my life. I don't need it back. I don't need trauma back. And then the rubber and the tracksuits. What era are we in? And look at the colors. This is giving like 2013, 2015. Also, my door just opened randomly. I swear to God, there's a ghost. Let me close my door. I closed this door. Why is it open? That is so weird. Why did that door open? Okay, I'm back. See, this is... Okay, let's just keep going. Also, Lady Gaga was super in the early 2000s, like 2010s. I think it's something is coming back.
Award. Mariah Carey ran through her biggest hits ahead
Lady
of
Gaga? No, Ricky Martin.
She's also back. Mariah Carey. I haven't heard her on the radio. I just listened to her during Christmas. Why is she back? Mexican Ariana is my favorite. Is there a Mexican Ariana? Or just the vibes that she gives off? Huh. She does look a bit different. Maybe she just needs sun.
If you guys watch Fear and, you would know this. This is another, that was one of the episodes where we found out.
What is
He keeps yapping about the most random stuff.
shockingly her first VMA, the prestigious Video Vanguard Award.
I just have one question. What in the Sam Hill were you waiting for?
The VMAs also paid tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, with Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, and Joe Perry.
What is that? What I don't understand the decision that was made there where she's like...
And 22-year-old Tate McRae stunned the crowd with her first VMA performance. The Canadian singer closed out her performance to her 16th.
She's kind of giving Britney Spears. If you look at that move, she was kind of giving Britney Spears. And Britney Spears would wear a lot of like underwear and like tops like that. And it was very like creative dancing, a very curated choreography. Do you notice we're almost 3 minutes in and this man hasn't even talked about fashion yet? And he's just like, what's there thinking about this little detail, bro? Like, maybe I should just directly watch it myself because men are always pissing me off. Maybe this was the wrong decision.
Her first VMA performance. The Canadian singer closed out her performance to her 16-year-old self. Now, there was also an epic performance from Alex Warren, who won Best New Artist. And of course, we'll have more exclusive backstage moments tonight on Entertainment.
Well, I said Tate McRae been doing her yoga.
This
girl was
that girl
very
can
nimble.
dance.
It was great to see Mariah and Sabrina Carpenter.
That was one of my favorite performances.
Wait, not the news cutting out the signs on stage? Dolls, 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 protect the dolls. That's cool. Tate McRae sounds like he a football coach. I mean, her politics are not that far off from like a Southern football team.
Okay, all right. This man is yapping about the most random tangent. Okay, is there any fashion reactions? Wait, let's just move up. Okay, we got a commercial. Maybe I should just react on my own. Yeah, let's just react on our own after just skimming through to see what he's talking about. This man is talking about politics, even when he's looking at the VMAs. Why am I not surprised? Okay. Nope, he's still not talking about fashion. Still not talking. Okay, let's see.
Artist of the year and performed her hit Abracadabra. Busta Rhymes took home the Rock the Bells.
See what he's wearing? That just doesn't look like 2025. Maybe he just needs a new stylist? I have no idea.
Visionary Award. Ariana Grande won Best Pop and Video of the Year, also winning Best Album. Other performers included Post Malone and Jelly Roll. And the VMA's Best New...
Wait, Post Malone as a song with Jelly Roll? Awesome. I love celebrities that go through different variants and then always, especially white celebrities do this more than anybody else. But they just kind of go through like different metas and then almost always arrive back at like just the culture until they make it big, then go back to their whiteness. Yeah. It's you know, not lost upon me that these guys will pop off at first as like rappers, and then they'll.
Okay, all right. He's just talking about race theories. So let's just watch. We'll do the work ourselves. It's fine. He just nitpicked small details, talked about random stuff. Let's do fashion moments. I'll do it on my own. It's fine. We don't need men. I was expecting something else. I did not get what I was going to think I was going to get from this man because he's just yapping about his own things. But let's go look into the fashion moments. We don't need no man. I don't need to watch him. The freak. Okay. So let's... Oh, okay. Ooh, okay.
The 2025 MTV Video Music Awards red carpet was full of eye-catching looks. From Ariana Grande's study.
We should have just clicked on this a long time ago. Oh my gosh, her polka dot dress. Honestly, I feel like you could just buy that dress anywhere. It doesn't look like a luxury fashion dress because it doesn't look like it really fits her because of the ripples that are right here. But let's get into it. Yes, we found the right video, guys.
Stunning polka dot look to Doja Cat's retro outfit and Sabrina Carpenter's form-hugging red lace dress. Access Hollywood is highlighting the top outfits of the night.
So this is Ariana Grande's dress. I wonder what's going on with the puffs. There's also a green thing on there. Did you guys notice that? There's like a green moments there. Honestly, it's screaming 2010 and I don't like it. But to give the benefit of the doubt, I wonder if the polka dots or like the style means anything. This one, I feel like it's giving Hunger Games. There's a lot of bling, a lot of drama, a lot of glamour. It's almost giving like Dolly Parton vibes, but like make it Hunger Games. Sabrina looks like your standard glam, gorgeous Hollywood doll girl. I don't think I'm surprised seeing her in this. I wonder if there's a theme. It sounds like there's a theme to this because they all kind of look alike. What happened to her pants? The jewelry looks like it's fast fashion jewelry. It looks very dated. But maybe we should look into seeing if there was a theme because I do think there's a theme. They all look very alike. They look very alike and this like almost retro feel. And also, I do want to note that stylists typically talk to each other and know kind of what's going on or what the vibe is. So it's not necessarily the celebrity's fault how they dress. It's more like the stylist plus their consultation. But usually it's the stylist who's like the final decision maker. Is that bacon? Headphone braids. Wait, let's go back to her. Because I did see photos of her FKA Twigs. I saw photos of her on Instagram where they were talking about her like hair. So if you notice, let me pause. Her hair is braided to look like headphones, which I found very interesting. And this kind of reminds me of Lady Gaga's bacon dress way back. It was worn and now it's like maybe a contemporary rendition, but maybe I'm just imagining things. Why does it feel like I've been thrown back a couple years ago? Oh, I kind of like this. No, I wouldn't wear that. It's just too much. It's the tie, the jacket, the dress. It's too much of the same pattern. I wouldn't wear it, but that's just me. Oh, that one's kind of cool. That's comfy vibes. I would like comfy vibes. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. It doesn't fit her that well, but I don't think it's supposed to. It's very comfy. I love that for her. It's very see-through. I don't know what else to say. It's very see-through. The bra didn't really quite fit her. Okay, this is an emerging group that I've been talking about. They did a collab with Gap for better denim jeans. I feel like they all kind of dress differently. Like they all have their style, which is not... Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, I clicked out. It's not bad. They all have their own style, but I don't think they have much cohesion. So I think they just need to work on that. Again, I'm just kind of speculating and commenting purely based on aesthetics. I don't know where the clothing is made from. I don't know who their stylist. I don't know what the theme is. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I don't really know their backstory. Excuse me if I just sound rude, but from an outside perspective looking in, the judgment is that they all have their unique sense of style, but it's not working cohesively because there's nothing really matching except the color black. But the black is different colors. So this is one texture, which is more like a spandex. This is a more polyester based black scheme to it. This one is a more like silky, bright, reflective black. This is a silk black. This is a matte black. And then this is like more of a silky combo that kind of looks like this or this, but still kind of different because it reflects the light differently. They all have some sort of silver here, silver. Bag is silver. Nails are the nails are silver, but even though she has like kind of like silver nails, she has gold accents. So I think to have made it more cohesive, they could have worn something a bit more alike, or kept the silvers and the golds a bit more toned down, or something, you know. But there's just a lot of textures and a lot of colors, but you can tell what their personality is, you know. But it doesn't like overall look cohesive. And I think this is a common thread with girl groups who all express themselves and all dress quite differently, yet they still have to function as a collective within their career. And it can kind of clash when the big picture is like put together. Like when you look at this picture, like it doesn't really look like it's too cohesive, but you can kind of tell they're together. But girl groups have always struggled with this. This is not like a first occurrence, and I think they're a relatively new group, so I think they're still learning how to work together in their fashion taste, but they're very fast growing. Like they've really popped off over time, and they all came from TikTok, and a lot of these new artists are from TikTok as well. So I'm kind of excited like how well they embrace creativity and like I guess don't get swallowed up with traditional media, because they did start off in you know, a fun app. Like, I wish they can retain their funness, their uniqueness, their authenticity. I don't want them to be swallowed up by all these other people. Like, so I like this. These are more cohesive looks for like a group, and it's because they have a lot of similar elements. Like, they have similar cuts, they have similar colors, they have things that like tie them all back in, like the paint stains or like the weird accessories. Like, they all have this, the little thread like paint details. They all have something that ties them all back in, even though they're all different, like different hair accessories, hairstyles. Maybe some have accessories, some don't. Some have different t-shirts. Some people put necklaces on or more belts on. Like, they're all different, right? But they all still look like they're part of the group. And that's kind of like what the other group was lacking. Cat's Eye was lacking cohesiveness. But I think maybe with guys, they're a bit more flexible to like look alike, because I don't know, usually they're not into fashion, but these people look cool. They look like they're fashionable and part of something. This man has always dressed like this. Lenny has always been just Lenny. Lenny with the no shirt. Livy? What happened to the rest of her jacket? Those used to be really popular too. Is that velvet? Oh god, don't tell me velvet's coming back in. There's more sheer. Is that a trend? Just sheer, sort of Victoria's Secret-esque vibes? I haven't seen that anywhere else. Mr. Nick. Nick looks like a heartbreaker. He forgot his shirt. Oh, Paris. She's back. I love Paris. See, this is where my fashion commentary kind of gets bland, because I don't know what to say. She looks like she has a costume on. I don't know what's going on. She's hugging someone. That's her sister. Yes. Okay, cool. Totally different vibe.
Sisters night out. I love this. You both look amazing. Tell me about these looks.
This is the blondes couture piece. I was in love with it. I thought it was so perfect for tonight.
Is it a couture piece? I thought it was a costume. Oh my gosh, this is why I don't like doing fashion commentary, because I say mean things and I don't want to be mean. It's just some of these pieces look very cheap, but it's couture. Oh gosh.
I'm wearing Bronx and Banco, and I was talking to Paris, and I was like, let's coordinate VMA looks. We always do. And I was telling her about my like beautiful light blue ethereal dress, and she's like, I'm wearing flames. I'm like, that does not coordinate. But then she came up with the genius idea that it's fire and ice.
Oh, wait, I kind of love that.
What we're serving tonight.
I feel like that's something Kathy Hilton would say. Like, she would totally show up.
So maybe I was right that they didn't match, but like, then Paris was like, yeah, we do match because we're the opposite of each other. So this is why fashion gets so confusing to me. Like, anyone can just say anything and get away with it. I'm like, yes, that kind of makes sense. But does it really? Does it really at the end of the day? Like, what are you doing?
Not matching them, be like, we're fine.
What's with the price
Oh my gosh, there's so many commercials. I still haven't got the ad blockers, so we're just gonna pretend the ad is not playing. We'll talk through it. Fill up the space. Fill up the time with my blah blah blahs and and yes. Okay, there we go.
We made it work.
You know, I totally forgot I was supposed to be commentating. What am I supposed to say about these men? Nice suit. Wow, it cost you $5K? Yeah. This is why I can't be a stylist for other people. I get bored too quickly. I'm like, yes, just wear it. Just wear it. Oh, it was made by exploited labor? Oh, wow. Who was surprised? See, that's the thing. I wish we knew more details about all the stuff that they're wearing. We can obviously research it, but like, these shows are all about the looks, not about the story. Can you imagine if I'm there? Is that Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast. I'm still shocked. Oh my gosh, her dress is lovely though. It's giving like Forever 21 couture. Yes. But it does fit her more better compared to the other dresses that we saw. Like this one seems to at least like be fitted to her body, but the sleeves are a bit off. They're a bit too long because they go all the way over to almost her knuckles, if you see that. And then this kind of protrudes a bit more out than it should. So I think they're expecting someone with broader shoulders. So maybe it's not tailor-made, but it does fit her very well at the waist, and it showcases her body really well. So you kind of don't notice, and it seems to naturally have broad shoulders, which I haven't seen in a dress or in formal wear for women in a long time. But this just kind of shows there's something a bit too big on her, like it was not made for her basically. And is the ribbon supposed to be uneven, or I'm just being too OCD? But I would have liked them to be even, but that's again just a small detail. And in his case, very form-fitting. I do think it was tailor-made. It just sits right where it's supposed to, naturally goes with his body. And then this little detail is very unique. There's like an extra fold here, and then there's like more details like over here, and it just goes with his body. But the pants are like navy black, or like a navy blue, and he put a black top on. So I don't know what happened there, but it's not the pants it should have been with. But it's a better jacket compared to other people's jacket. You know, I do wonder what brands they mix together. You know, what brand is this? Oh, this one's fun. I've been seeing a lot of people dress up like this on TikTok. Like the corset with the mismatched skirt and the fun hair. Oh, that's so fun. I love that. It's like harlot vibes. I love this. She's having fun. I love when someone just mixes colors together. Jessica Simpson, very classic beauty. I'm not surprised she went with a more simple classic look. I actually really like this. This is really cool. I like the bow detail. Ashley Simpson, I haven't heard of her in the longest time. Oh, that's fun with the fringe. Sparkly tops, nice. Alex Earl, you don't know who she is. If she trips, it's game over. It's just game over if she trips. Alex Warren with the Converse. I like the Converse detail. Oh, it's giving a snake vibe. I like that. So cute. I kind of like the snake one. That one looks like tinfoil. Wait a minute. Can I recreate this look? Did Marlene just inspire me to make an aluminum foil dress? I can make this at home. I really can. Should this be my next YouTube video? I say this in every live stream all the time. Wait, maybe I should stop talking. Let me just stop talking. Let's just watch. I can do that. I can do that.
Did we coordinate? No, this was totally coincidental, and somehow it worked out, just like our relationship. Yeah, it's gonna work out.
We're just in sync, Margot and Sophie.
I feel like I'm so into this show that I'm thinking the characters are here, and like this is all really happening. I'm like so excited.
Oh, we did our job.
We haven't murdered anyone.
No,
thank God.
We have not done that.
Not yet.
Room for 6.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking up the theme of this event. They all look kind of off in my head. It's not my imagination. There must be some sort of theme. Okay, let's keep watching though. Ooh, that was cool. Conan Gray. He always slays. He always slays. Guys, there's no theme. Not from what I can find. Did they all decide to dress up like this? They all willingly decided to dress like this? Oh my gosh, that would be really sad. No, they all decided to dress like this. But it does have a history of encouraging bold and avant-garde looks. Okay. If they all decided to dress like this, I feel like I'm really worried for the fashion industry. Oh my gosh. I swear I've seen better outfits, or maybe it's just because I watch the fashion shows. I'm like, oh, I would wear this. And then when I see them wear something else, or like a simple version of fashion, I'm just like, bro, that was a missed moment. But this seems fun. She looks like she's about to give out some fancy luxury hamburgers. Look, because look, the hat looks like those that work in the hamburger places, you know what I mean? And this kind of looks like an apron. Again, I don't want to be mean. I just really don't want to be mean. It's just... maybe I should shut up. What is going on? She chose to dress like this. She chose to dress like this. Oh, I love this. This is like goth / like grunge glam. I've actually been into grunge glam lately. I think this is the last person I'm going to talk about because I'm actually getting a lot of anxiety trying to understand what's going on, and it's just not making sense to me why they would dress like this. And I don't want to be mean because it's not up to me to decide what they wear or not to wear. But so with grunge glam, I've been really into that topic. I randomly came across it, and it's literally giving this vibe. Like, she's giving grunge glam. See? I love it. I love grunge glam. Oh, I've talked about this in my last live stream as well. But it's such a great vibe, and I would dress like her if I was to go to a show, but a bit more like dressy. Like, it'd probably be a dress, not just a bra and a skirt, you know? But that's my personal preference. But I love the makeup. I love the makeup a lot. But yeah, that was some looks from the VMAs. I have predictions that fashion is going to go back to what it used to be in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, as like the 90s fades away into oblivion once more. There is a lot of oversized jackets. I've noticed that with a couple other guys. Like, it doesn't fit. And then the sleeve right here is too short, but it's too big over here. So I wonder what's going on with that look. It kind of reminds me of like a kid trying to play dress up. But again, I don't know what the inspiration is. That man is in a straight up tank top. He's in a straight up tank top. That man just showed up. Oh, okay. Simon. That's a bold look. She looks like she's from the 80s. Valentina Ferrer. I could probably find that dress in the bins. Honestly, the thing about these dresses is there's so many options at the bins that you don't really have to buy new anymore. And there's so much that you can find at the bins. There's so much you can find at the bins. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Let's move out of that, I guess, brain space for a section. Because I never just want to criticize people. It's just I'm trying to understand what's going on, and I just can't seem to understand. But yeah, I do think that there's going to be a lot of new looks outside of the Y2K trend. But I don't think we need the oversized suits. We don't need the oversized suits. Oh, it reminds me of the suits. Now that I kind of consider it. But I don't think they're referencing the suits. Are they? Are they? Okay. So, okay. Let's go into... Oh my god, there's so much to talk about. So much. And it's already going to be 6 o'clock. So, let's look into Depop's new campaign. It's called Where Taste Recognizes Taste. Let's look into this. We can look at their videos. We can go from there. But they have a new campaign, and they have a new campaign that I'm really excited to talk about. So they recently launched this a couple of days ago. Again. Okay, so it says where taste recognizes taste. So Depop, which is a circular fashion marketplace where anyone can buy, sell, and discover desirable, affordable secondhand fashion, has unveiled Where Taste Recognizes Taste, a bold new brand campaign that flips the narrative on secondhand shopping by spotlighting the emotional spark that happens when someone somewhere just gets your style. Created in partnership with Uncommon Creative Studio, the campaign taps into the quiet thrill of being seen. That universal feeling when someone likes what you like, whether you're selling a vintage product coat as part of your side hustle or buying a pair of perfectly worn sneakers, Depop proves that there's always someone out there who shares your taste, even if they look nothing like you. Wow, that was poetic. Who knew Depop could be so poetic? So, they say at the heart of the campaign is the idea of Depoppelganger. What are they talking about? They explain it's a vehicle to evangelize. Is that a Christian word? Uh-oh. I actually really like Depop. Why are they saying this word? A vehicle to evangelize. Depop's mission for everyone to discover the joy of resale. Two people, worlds apart, brought together by a shared sense of style. Why does it feel like I'm on a godly mission now on Depop? They say it's a celebration of unexpected connection, where shoppers and sellers aren't just transacting, they're vibing. They're not just transacting, they're vibing. Now I want to be fully clear that I want to be fully clear that I use Depop. I use Depop very often. It's the primary way I like resell clothing. So when I see that they're using the word evangelize, I don't know how to say the word again, but when I see that word, I'm like, that gives like God, it gives religion. When they're saying, oh, we're vibing, I started to see a lot of red flags popping up. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like what I'm seeing. They explain when someone buys your item on Depop, they're doing more than shopping. They're validating your taste, said Sonia Biddle, Depop's interim chief product officer and marketing leader. Can we give it up for Sonia? She's really trying to get her check. And explains this campaign is about celebrating that human connection when someone sees your listing and thinks, that's the one for me. Okay. I feel like they've made something very neutral and like normal and straightforward into like a very deeply spiritual practice. I'm kind of struggling to understand what is this. Okay. So the campaign kicks off with visually striking content that brings this emotional exchange to life through clever casting and a touch of surrealism. Supporting the spot is a full-scale media rollout, including OOH, streaming radio, Spotify, Sirius XM, connected TV, Disney, Amazon, Roku, Netflix, YouTube TV, and paid social across TikTok, Meta, and Pinterest. So it says, early into concepting, we came across a social post where someone who sold a sweater on Depop saw the person she sold it to 5 years later at a bar in Manhattan, says Kelly Barrett, which is creative director at Uncommon. Oh, wow. I cannot take this seriously. The comments were all like, OMG, this is fate. What are the odds? This happens for a reason. Okay. So this spurred the thought of having a Depop Gengar. AKA someone who you are inextricably linked to by a singular piece of clothing. Continued Uncommon creative director Katie Nidardo. Katie, I do wonder, what were you on when you were thinking about this? But then she continues on to say, dramatic? Yes, but also true. From there, we wanted this notion to inform everything, to really dramatize the feeling of someone vibing with your style and how personal that is. Oh my god, this is the definition of drama. They go on to explain resale reframed through the lens of taste. So Depop has long positioned itself as a curated leader of resale. This campaign marks the next evolution, positioning taste as a unifying force that powers its marketplace. While trends come and go, taste is timeless, and on Depop, taste is a common thread that connects a widely diverse global community. This is our moment to own a space that no other resale platform can. A heritage in taste. Okay, that's another red flag. What does a heritage in taste mean? Are they selling us a heritage of taste? Now that I don't agree upon. That's actually kind of nasty to think that they're selling us like heritage. What heritage are they selling us? Fashion style? Fashion taste? No, that's not heritage. Heritage is something entirely different. They continue on to say, we're not just a place to sell things. We're a platform where your style finds its people. That's powerful. Okay. There's a lot to be said, but before I give my takes on this, I do want to watch the commercials. I haven't actually watched them. But let's see their videos. I saw a couple of videos that they had on TikTok, or I saw that they had videos for this on TikTok. I didn't actually watch them. Let's see, where is it? Where taste recognizes taste. Let me open up TikTok. We're gonna get blasted with some like political moment. I can already feel it. I'm not even on the political side of TikTok. It's just it always happens when I'm on live. See? Meet America's dangerous female inmates. Okay, let's see. Okay, where taste recognizes taste. Depop, I should put. Depop. Okay, alright. Where is it? I saw something. I can't find it anymore. Okay. It's not here. Why didn't it pop up when I wrote Depop? Okay, here it is.
Following the eye, was following the eye, was following the eye, was following the eye, was following the eye.
Okay, so they made it seem like he was gonna go through this whole journey and that they're somehow connected through threads, even though they've never really met. They're like being pulled together, and he almost gets like vetoed out of this world. But it says this is exactly what it looks like when you list something on Depop. When someone likes it, buys it, and validates your taste. Look out for our new campaign where taste recognizes taste in Chicago, San Jose, and San Francisco. I think those are the target markets they want to reach, and maybe they haven't really captured. Chicago, San Jose, and San Francisco. And the comments are just interesting. So someone says lower the damn shipping prices. Another person says shipping prices gotta get lowered. Customers are not happy. Be right, be gotta go list May whole closet, which seems to be something, I guess, good for Depop. But yeah, someone else said Depop sucks, and those are the only comments they've gotten within the 5 days they uploaded it. And I'm not surprised that those are the reactions. I feel like Depop has a lot to fix in their services that I'll get into right now. But I do want to see what else they're offering in terms of this campaign, because I don't think this is the only video they've made. If it's the only video they've made, it was a very bad storytelling that they did. Like, it didn't really show me anything. And the cover page has like 2 people connected to a shirt. Do you see that? You can kind of see it when I move away from the browser. And you can see the old man with like a son connected together. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. Okay. It's not kind of weird. It's very weird. Okay, let's see if we can find anything else in terms of like the aesthetics of this. It's the same video. Okay, I think I found a different video on their Instagram. Nope, it's the same video. Let's see. Someone says the company has only one piece of collection. Like, clearly this is it, and that's it. Okay, it's the same video, so I think they only released this. Let's see. And then they did have this photo. Where is it? They did have this photo in their press release. So I think it's just alluding that we're all connected together, which, I mean, in itself is not that bad. But I do want to say the wording of how they presented this just seems kind of out of touch. The creative agency that they work with is very creative. They have a history of coming up with other words like dopamine, which is like alluding Depop gives dopamine, and they try to combine the words together. And then they have like other billboards up in the UK that's very artsy, but they didn't do any of those sort of billboards here in the United States. I do think they went more towards TikTok to promote to their American consumer. But I do want to clarify, I am a Depop fan. Like, I use Depop every day. I feel like they're a really usable app. Like, I love how they don't charge you to use the app as well. Like, eBay literally charges you like $10 a month to use their services, and I barely list on eBay. Like, I should be listing more because I pay that fee, but I don't because I always forget to. And I make sales on Depop. Like, on eBay, it's just really difficult to get sales. It's just, I don't really know, going back to their campaign, why they decided to go with all this weird, like, new wording. Like, the Depop-ganger thing just was kind of disconcerting for me, because it kind of reminds me of the word doppelganger. Doppelganger, I think is how you pronounce it. Doppelganger, yeah. It's the word where, like, one person is trying to pretend to be the other person, but they kind of played on that word. But I don't really like the idea of copying someone or being someone else. But, like, they got inspiration for that word from doppelganger. Again, I don't know how to pronounce my words right, but I think you know the word that I'm referring to. Doppelganger. Word doppelganger. Too many questions, too little time. Okay, so it's this doppelganger. Doppelganger is double walker in German, which is ghostly or paranormal non-living double of a living person, often seen as a harbinger of bad luck. So when you like kind of allude to that word, because they do look and sound very like, it kind of is very disconcerting, because this whole vibe / energy / connection / fate thing kind of alludes to like this otherworldly aspect that is basically connected to the original word, which is like in the paranormal space, in this vibe space. But the original word is like for bad luck, and they're trying to say it's a good thing that we're connected to someone else, and like we don't really know how we're connected, but there's threads of connection. So it was like a very interesting play of the words, trying to like give a double meaning or a different meaning to it that kind of goes beyond the services that they use. Like, we're not thinking about the interplay of like words and like fates and I guess, like, spirituality within the app. Like, we're just literally listing stuff and selling it. But they're like, no, it's a deeper meaning, it's a deeper process. But I don't think most of us go around being like, oh, there's a deeper process in listing this on a spiritual basis, you know? But I do think they're trying to just reach more people. At the end of the day, like, this is going to go on TV, this is going to go on radio, and I don't think they've ever done that before. Not from what I've heard from them, but radio, TV, social media posts, it's very intensive digital marketing, if anything else. I think they're struggling to compete with other very successful resale companies like ThreadUp, like Poshmark, like eBay, Vestiaire Collective. There's so many other brands, and so many other luxury brands are also reselling their items, and a lot of just other brands in general, like fast fashion companies, are even like doing secondhand resale markets on their own website. So Depop, who used to be like a leader in itself and a leader on its own, just has so much competition, and I think they're just trying to reach as many people as possible to use their app. So it kind of makes sense they would expand on TV and like on the radio, because sometimes you can't get Gen Z users just on social media. Like, they're in all different places. I haven't ever seen a Gen Z person listen to the radio, but maybe they're trying to reach like millennials or older adults. These people look kind of older, like in their late 20s. So that's a clue of like who they're trying to reach. But again, like, they're trying to find like a competitive edge related to something that I don't think we usually think about when we use the app. Like, it's very surrealism, intellectualism of words, of concepts, of feelings, of fate, of life. And I don't like it. I think it's really rooted in pragmatic, or no, it's really rooted in like privilege. Like, I think if you're being surrealistic about buying and selling things, you just have too much time on your hands. I feel like what I want is like pragmatism. I don't know how to say that word. Pragmatism, like pragmatic realism, where like the app basically works for us. Like, if you saw the TikTok comments on TikTok for this campaign, it was like, bro, address the shipping, address how much we're paying for items. Like, we need real solutions. We need an app that works for our lives. Like, we're in a recession. Does it look like we're thinking about how we can interplay words related to Depop in our everyday life? Like, no one is going to go around being like, oh, Depoppelganger. No, that's not something we're really doing. We're thinking about how to survive. We have 2 to 3 jobs. Most of us are not making enough money. Like, when we're reselling on Depop, we were reselling for a reason. If you go to the Goodwill bins, we're literally fighting to the death to find good items. This sort of campaign almost makes fun of our hard work, because it doesn't speak to our realities. It doesn't speak to our struggles. It doesn't speak to like the need to sell to be able to live. Like, if I didn't have to sell on Depop, I wouldn't sell on Depop. It's because I need to that I'm there. So when you're like, oh, we're Depoppelgangers, or we have to find dopamine, it sounds like someone's on drugs, and I'm over here buried in debt, buried in the bins, trying to make something of myself, because the economy is very, very tough right now. So if they could fix the shipping issues, if they can tell us how much they're charging customers for shipping, if they can make maybe shipping a bit more reduced so it incentivizes purchases, please do that. Help the seller and the buyer out. Sell both of us out. Because again, maybe we are connected by fate, but like, if you're gonna make it impossible for us to connect, then your app is basically redundant. It doesn't really work for both of us. Also, like, another note that I want to say is that Depop needs to improve their algorithm. It's not fate that's connecting us to the in the app or to the app. It's algorithms. We type in what we want. Keywords help us find the piece. We like the item, and if the price is right, if the moment's right, we buy it. It's very pragmatic. It's really based on what we need. So like, if you can help us with algorithms, that'd be great, because first time sellers get a lot of boost to their account. It's like, oh my god, like, people are actually buying. It can incentivize them to keep selling. After you get a bit established, the algorithm kind of slows down and you make less sales, and you have to consistently upload to get traction. When I worked at a vintage shop, their tactic was to basically list about 10 to 15 items a day to keep that algorithm boosted, to keep their stuff pushed to the right customer. Because if you don't upload consistently, your stuff is not gonna sell. But it's just very time consuming to list, because if you're constantly listing, you constantly have to take photos. Like, for example, for me, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to take photos of like 25 items. That's my average. So if you're doing like 10 to 15 items a day, let's say for 6 days out of the week, I'm just gonna say it's 60 items a week that you're uploading. And if it takes you like 3 hours or 2 hours, let's say 2.5 hours to do 25 items, that's like 5 hours for like 50 items. So we're like getting very time consumed, right? Like it requires time. It's like 6 hours for 60 items, around there. That's average for me, at least, estimate. Do you have 6 hours to take photos? And then you have to upload that, then you have to ship it. So like, it's not, I guess, very fruitful that the algorithm only rewards consistency when it's so time consuming to have that consistency. Like, it's very hard to get somewhere. But if you really want it, you'll get there, obviously. Like, if you really want to take those photos, if you want to take those photos, if you want to upload, if you want to be consistent and you reap the rewards, that's great. What I'm saying is it's very difficult otherwise to get somewhere on the app. Because I haven't uploaded on Depop and my stuff hasn't been pushed out. And I try to give discounts because there's a section to discount, like a certain percentage. No one buys, no one like bites. I try to reduce the shipping plus the discount, still doesn't work. I try to upload pieces and do the discounts and reduce the shipping, doesn't work. So it's like, I don't know how the algorithm is working, but it needs to be fixed, and that's up to them and their coding system and their internal systems. I don't know how that works, but it doesn't really help that they're entrenched in surrealistic intellectual thinking when we need pragmatic realism and practices that help not only the sellers but the buyers find clothing that they should ideally need and want in their life. And that's the entire point, finding the things that you need and want. Like, when you turn into fade and threads, I mean, I get it, it's like part of the clothing, but like, that's not what we're really doing on the app, you know? So yeah, that's my take on the Depop campaign. But again, I love Depop for what it concretely is, an app that allows you to find affordable clothing. Make it more affordable, you'll get more users. If you're going on TV, if you're making billboards, if you're going on radios, if you're making these weird campaigns, like, touch on the things that matter to your users. I think that would make sense, right? I think it would make a lot of sense. I would recommend they stop taking whatever they're taking, and their creative directors, like, I don't know what these people will be taking, but they're like up in some different fairyland. I don't know what substance or what creative inspiration they got, but it's not rooted in our reality. Someone asked me, am I recording a podcast? No, I'm talking. I'm talking about Depop. It's just I haven't switched over to an article. Does it sound like I'm recording a podcast? That's actually kind of a compliment, isn't it? My voice is leaving me, but I guess it's a compliment. But yeah, we should take a look at the UK. Okay, so these were the UK advertisements, and it said founded on Depop. I actually really like these. I feel like they did these sort of art pieces in the UK because they have like more walkable cities. Oh my god, Mr. MO47, I saw you talking. I was like, she's recording something perhaps. No. Maybe I can clip it, but I'm just talking. But I love this. I love this so much. I wish I could have this in like my own city. But I don't think the United States really has much walkable cities. They did do like a billboard in New York, which makes sense. Like they have a lot of billboards. But everywhere else, it's like a car city. These are so cool. I love these. I want to go to UK so bad. I want to go to UK so bad. The London and visit. Oh, it's a dream. It would be a dream. I would love to do that. Mr. Mo. Okay, Twitch has weird rules about username, so I decided to change O into 0. Okay, Mr. Mo. There you go. That kind of rhymed. But yeah, I want to go to London. I want to see these billboards in person. But they've been trying a lot to find new markets, get more users. Can you imagine millennials using Depop? What would they be selling? What do millennials even wear? I don't even know. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're going to move on from the Depop mayhem. Hopefully this doesn't affect future partnerships, if any, with them. But I'll still use their app. I mean, it's not going to stop me from using their services. Even though their algorithm sucks and their shipping sucks. They should fix that. Like, seriously. Oh, but I saw this very interesting post. This post by so this post by oh my god, I can't talk anymore. This post was by Radiant Media, and it talked about the rise of guzi culture, why people in China are turning themselves into collectible items. And I feel like people are kind of commodifying themselves, but I've never heard this term. It's very interesting. But basically they're saying that they're like turning themselves into anime idols through a 3D printer and basically making a guzi of themselves. And guzi is like a word to describe turning yourself into a two-dimensional thing, but it refers back to anime, comics, gaming, and other fandoms. Take a sip of water, someone said. Mr. Mo says. No. Oh my gosh. I struggle so much with breaks. Fans have made merch of their favorite characters and idols, and today the culture has gone on mainstream, and the latest twist is people making themselves into guzi. How would I feel if I turned myself into an anime two-dimensional doll? And they do this with AI and 3D printing. DIY possibilities keep expanding as well. From simple acrylic stands to complex figurines, people are no longer just collecting idols or fictional characters. They're creating guzi of their own pets, their families, and even themselves. I wonder where they're like 3D or 2D printing themselves at. I do want the software. It kind of looks cool, but I wouldn't want a doll of myself or other people having a doll of myself. That just makes me feel uncomfortable. But as a hobby, like as a fun little thing to do, I think it'd be fun. It's just I wouldn't really want to print it out. Like I'd want the digital copy, if that makes sense. I just want to do it, but not print it, you know? These are so fun. Can you imagine a little doll of yourself? See, this is why I don't get celebrities. Like, if someone had a celebrity, like a celebrity, if someone had a toy version of myself, I'd get freaked. But it's kind of cute. It's kind of a cute theory of like, oh, this is me in a doll form. Yeah, I'm deciding if I like this or not. It's cute but eerie. Yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. It was kind of cute for a second. I got swayed for a second. Oh, okay. I like these. The abstracted version. Yeah, I kind of like that. But otherwise, it's weird. Someone says I want to be a Labubu. Yeah. Okay. Same. Mr. Moo says absolutely right, but it's what is this? Yeah. Self-obsession, someone says. Very sad self-obsession. Oh my god, someone says because of the fantasy of private ownership that has long been ingrained in modern culture, or in simple terms called self-commodify. Oh gosh. No, I'm okay. I don't want to self-commodify. I don't want to sell my soul to the 2D printer. Wait, when I live stream, I can be self-commodifying myself because I am the product. Ooh. That one looks like voodoo magic. Oh gosh. Oh wait, when someone makes a doll that looks like you, and it's called voodoo dolls, but then you make one of yourself, it could also be a voodoo doll. In theory, it's just you did it to yourself. Yeah, I don't like that thought. I don't. Okay, we're going to a very dark trajectory. Okay, all right. I think we took us in a different direction than I expected. But I do want to know, like, where is this happening? Is this like a Chinese thing? I think it's a Chinese thing. Honestly, maybe it's just a hobby. But it's kind of creepy. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy. Anime idols. Well, it's kind of common for idols to be made into dolls. Guzi culture in China. I kind of want to watch a documentary on this. Not gonna lie. Dolls. Guzi dolls, China. Yadi 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 yadi. No, I don't see anything. Chinese doll becomes South Africa's most coveted plush toy? Is it in South Africa? Not the Labubu's. Oh my gosh. Not the Labubu's. I don't see anything on here. China. If I find out someone has done a 2D version of me into a doll, I'm suing them. I'm suing them completely. Okay, we're on the weird side of YouTube, so I'm gonna click out. But I found this so interesting. I do think they're self-commodifying, but as a hobby. But like, do you self-commodify yourself if you're doing a self-portrait and sell it? It's kind of the same thing. You saw it in a horror movie for these Guzi dolls. I know that I'm not supposed to buy whatever Hollywood sells, but I'm just buying what I saw, lol. What? You bought a voodoo doll because of a movie? What are you talking about? Okay, so we're gonna go into less scary territory. We're gonna talk about Everlane and how they have collaborated with Laufey. But I used to be a fan of Everlane. They're a sustainable fashion brand, from what I've seen and heard. And the celebrity, the musician, she's popping up on TikTok. So let's see how that works. Is there an interview? Oh, like an interview, please. Please, Everlane. Oh my gosh. I hate when myself pops up and I'm watching myself. Don't watch me, watch myself. Okay. She's in a lot of fashion spaces. I didn't know that. Yada 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 yada. I don't want to get copyright striked, so we're not going to listen to her music. But she's on TikTok. I don't know the hype. I don't listen to her, but she seems I guess cool. I don't know her. Actually, I don't know her. I take back my words. Let's see what she has in her bag. Yada 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 yada. Skip it.
And I'm here with Vogue Singapore. My go-to essentials on tour. I have everything in this bag. So funny on it. Which is honestly.
Oh my god, as soon as I started playing this video, I got a warning by YouTube. The YouTube is not receiving enough videos, blah blah blah, to maintain. Oh gosh, don't copyright me. Vogue does this to me every single time. Mr. Mo, yes, I'm into fashion and design. How could you guess? I'm kidding. Yeah, that's all I do. That's all I do. I love fashion. I love design. I love commenting. And yes, I will be doing more fashion IRLs soon as fashion weeks come up. Let's see. Should we watch a different one? I don't want YouTube warnings. I'm multi-streaming. No, don't give me warnings. Well said about the fashion design. Thank you. Okay, well, they don't have anything about Everlane and the collection with her, which is sad. Oh wait, no, it's here. It's right there. I found it.
The skyscrapers causing vertigo. The countdown begins in Tokyo. 27 days alone means 20 million ways to cope without you. I'm in a reckless fever, love-struck girl, I tease her. Thought I'd never be her. Quite the job you've done on me, sir. You've been hosting parties. In my mind, I'm working overtime to have you in my world. Oh, what a curse it is to be a lover girl.
Alrighty. That was kind of cute. I kind of like that. So let's look at the article. Alright. So Everlane says that it was once part of a group of retailers that claimed to do things differently, cut out the middleman by selling only direct to consumers, getting rid of markups. Part of the model meant cutting the role of celebrity brand ambassadors. The expensive deals only ate into margins, and top quality, best price clothing didn't need a celebrity frontman to sell the goods anyways. So the products would simply speak for themselves. They say that era is over. For proof, look to Everlane's new ambassador, Icelandic singer Laufey, I think is how they say it, who was the face of the brand's autumn collection. The decision to sign its first celebrity ambassador came as part of a broader brand reboot led by CEO Alfred Chang, who used to be in charge of PacSun and Fear of God, who joined last autumn to reignite the spark that Everlane had started to lose. Oh, very interesting. I think Everlane just needed more of a marketing boost. They were losing their touch, and then they were like, you actually need a celebrity to get your stuff to be sold. Let's see. I like the commercial. It was very cute, very quaint. Very wait, it was alluding to like Godzilla, wasn't it? Because she was a big girl in a small world. Right? But she was very gentle with it. Very gentle with it. She was too big for her world. Did I say too big? Sorry. I need a break. See? She was so small in her world. Or I mean too big in her world. Jesus. I'm not even saying the basic thing. She's big. Look at, she's as big as a building. She's too big for the clothing. She's bigger than the billboard. The teeny tiny bags. Oh, cute. Cute. I would not buy from them just because a celebrity collabs with them. But maybe if you like the music, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy from this brand. But for me, it's never worked. But some of the things that they're selling, well, why is the pictures out of scale? Why is it like this? Their website is glitching. No, Everlane, this is your moment to shine. Let me refresh. Let me blame my own computer. Oh my gosh, your website don't work. It glitched out. I'm so sorry for your website. My offer for water sipping. I took a sip. I was not expecting that comment. Dude, the website glitched, but Okay, let's see how much the cardigans cost. The cardigans cost. Let's see. $198. $200. $200 for a sweater? They gotta be crazy. $138 for an alpaca cardigan. Ugh. Ugh. I can't do this. Why are those prices so expensive? I used to work in an alpaca fashion brand. The prices were crazy. Why does YouTube keep saying I have an error in my video? Okay, let me praise the system. I love fashion consumption. I love capitalism. I love mindless consumerism. I love celebrity endorsements that mean nothing at the end of the day because they're just using their fame. I love cash. I love the internet. Is that enough? YouTube reward me for being part of the norm. Come on, YouTube. Come on. Nope, that did not work. Okay, so they said we partnered with Laufey to bring our new fall collection to life. A personal fan of the brand, her style reflects our values, marrying timeless inspiration with a fresh, modern spirit. So Mr. Mo says they use the music, the studio, to attract you. Oh, interesting. It was supposed to intrigue me. Oh, they did get me, huh? I guess it's amazing and a creative idea. But she's like Godzilla, though. Isn't she offended? I'm offended for her. The style's too classic to be uploaded. Oh, okay. I see. Alright. I kind of like the skirt, but I can thrift this. I can thrift all of this. The photography is really beautiful. I like the photos of her, though. And the color scheme, I love the greens. I love the browns and the pastels. And I used to work at an alpaca brand, so I get the price points. I get how it's better quality. But, oh my god, $200? But they do say each fabric reflects the responsibility, craftsmanship, and enduring qualities. Those boots are so cute! Those boots! I need them right now, ASAP. Ooh, I like this outfit. I would wear this. I low-key would wear that. Do they sell the boots at least? Shop the look. I think they do not sell the boots. Shop shoes. Shop the shoes. Oh no, do they got the boots? They got the boots. $400 though? Jesus. Leather? I don't really buy leather though. Okay, so Mr. Mo has some theories. Says the point is to keep the image in your head linked to the one of the most successful movies, Godzilla. It's a subliminal thing, huh? They're gonna get me subliminally. They say it's a new city boot in town. Took the iconic style to new heights. They're really into heights, huh? Knee high to be exact. The version boosts a taller shaft with a reconstituted leather outsole and zipper. Okay, alright. There's a lot of fancy words for $400. How do they source the leather? That's the question here. So upper and shaft cow leather. Yeah, I wouldn't buy these. I don't buy real leather. Only if it's thrifted. Okay, bad news for them. I bet that granny can sew all of this. What granny? That granny? The one granny can buy and... I think the granny can buy and sew all of these things. I work with grannies all day, every day. They got money. They be dropping bucks. Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't really like the shoes, but I do think that a lot of her fans are going to buy these pieces. But I thought most of her fans were like Gen Z people, like in their early 20s. Do they have, $200 to drop on these shoes? How old is she though? Is she like in her early 20s? I may move on from this and take a quick break and play something else in the meanwhile. How old is she? Oh, she's 26? She's old. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think 26-year-olds can afford $200 shoes if they got a corporate American job and ruining the earth from it. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, let's see what else we can look into. Oh, okay. So we have a couple other options. We're gonna get through Armani Archival opening up. We're gonna talk about New York Fashion Week is coming up. So Evan has been featured by Goodwill and will be in New York Fashion Week through his like one-of-a-kind upcycled looks using like a secondhand thing. So let's see if there's a interview. I would love to see it. All right. Oh, I've been seeing the Donna Drake show everywhere. She's so good at featuring very unique designers.
This your bag, sir? What have that white?
I don't know who she is, but she's just popped up out of nowhere. And I'm like, yes, girl, do this interview. She doesn't need my permission.
Hirsch.
Hello.
Hello, so glad to be here. You are glowing. Is it because it's your birthday? Maybe. I mean, I like to make the whole month about me, which is rather annoying for most other people, but I like it. So yes, that's why I'm glowing.
So we're taping this in July, but you've had a stellar week, right? So tell us about the joy that you had surrounding your birthday this week. What did you get the chance to explore and do?
So I got to do so many fun things. I know we were just talking about Ohika Castle, where the amazing benefit is going to be this time around, this summer. I had a lovely lunch that day and then just, dinner with family. But I heard from a lot of great people and, a lot of people who I've worked with in the fashion industry were wishing me well. So that's always really nice to hear from.
Nice. And you did a red carpet thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I had a very busy week after my birthday, which makes me feel booked and busy, which is very nice. So I actually went to 2 events. The first one was Art Tech House, which they have a new installation. It's called Blooming Wonders. It's kind of like I compare it to the wall that you have in the other studio, the immersive wall.
Yes.
But it was like to the next level where they were projecting huge flower blooms around. Like I had one glass of wine and I thought I was one of the flowers.
You thought
so
you were
like
flower. You're waiting for the bee to come down and pollinate.
It was really cool. So that was an amazing installation. And then the highlight of my week is we were invited as the Donna Drake Show to cover Broadway Barks, the 27th annual dog adoption Broadway charity event hosted by Bernadette Peters, who is an incredible icon, and Beth Level, who is also an incredible icon. And there were so many shows participating, so many iconic actors. I literally had to write them all down because there's so many.
Give us a list. Who you got, Ev?
So
Who'd you see?
aside from Bernadette Peters, who I have obsessed with since I was young, like while other kids were playing video games, I was begging my mom to see her at the Tillis Center. And Beth Level, who I waited out in a snowstorm to ask her how it was wearing a fake mole in Young Frankenstein. Like that was priorities as a kid.
Right.
Yes.
Early interview questions for them.
Of course. And then there were so many amazing shows. I wrote down just a few of them and some of the ones that I really geeked out over.
Okay.
So Buena Vista Social Club was one. Purpose, Carrie Young, who you interviewed in the show as well, friend of our show, and Juliet. There was Boop with Jasmine Amy Rogers, who was just nominated for the Tony Awards, which is exciting. The entire cast of Old Friends. Gypsy with Audra McDonald, who I couldn't believe I breathed the same air as her. That is, I'll put that on my resume. Real Women Have Curves, which is an amazing show about body positivity and also has a lot of sewing in it, so I personally love it.
Yes.
And then Cola Scola, who I'm absolutely obsessed with, who won for Best Actor in the play that they actually directed and starred in, Oh Mary. The stars of Wicked, of course, with the movies coming out, has been all the rage.
I feel like he would be my best friend in my childhood. I had someone very much like him in my childhood, and I was always the one directing quote unquote the fashion shows and the behind the scenes. I was the one making stuff, and I would have the most outlandish people in my life be I guess the stars or the people that I would push out. But yeah, he reminds me of the type of friend I would have in real life. Mr. Mo says, is this your job? I mean, designing? Technically, my YouTube is transitioning over to fashion design a bit more. 26 years old, you crack me up. Well, she's old. I didn't know she was that old. He had a very different childhood. Yeah. He's a very interesting character, for sure. I love his work, though, and he's working with Goodwill, and he's going to be featured in New York Fashion Week, so I'm excited what he comes up with. Very interested.
Beret Orville Peck is an amazing country singer who wears this like fabulous mask and is now proving their Broadway, talents is fabulous. We actually, me and Amanda, we went to go see Operation Mincemeat, so the cast was there.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was like a nice little date night.
And you're referring to Amanda Ramirez, who's one of the
Yes.
producers on our show.
Yes.
So she got to join you to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah, well,
Fun.
this was a couple of months ago.
Oh,
We
okay.
I got invited to see Operation Mincemeat, and I know we're both Broadway nerds, so we got to take a little trip. So that was really fun as
and
well.
you don't know this, but I met the producer of that when I was at the North Fork Film Festival
Really?
a couple of weeks ago. Yes, so we move in similar circles, but sometimes not at the same time. Okay, continue.
That was
Keep
pretty
going.
incredible.
Okay.
Also, Helen J. Shen from Maybe Happy Endings was there. She was nominated for Best Actress in a Musical at the Tony Awards. So incredible to see her there. And I also have Pirates, the Penzance musical with Jinx Monsoon, who is the only two-time winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, who is now a huge Broadway star. So I was
That's
very
like
much
the
a nerd
alphabet.
again.
That's the entire alphabet, A to Z of all the people that you met.
Oh, no, there's even
Or
more
saw.
that I could not fit on this card.
And who was that? Who's the one more that's not on the card?
Well, there was a few more shows that were also like pretty amazing. There was like everything that's currently on Broadway, they pretty much transitioned to being in this. Like Kimberly Akimbo was another one. There was just like so many shows. It was probably like a 2.5-hour event.
Wonderful.
And it was all supporting dogs. Each Broadway star had a dog that was up for adoption. So they showed it off and told their story and wanted to find a forever home for
And
them.
I hope they all found forever homes.
I think a good amount of them
I
did, which
really
was
do
really
think
exciting.
that would be important. I saw you sewing. You were hand embellishing something that you sometimes do when you're here at the studio.
My favorite
right?
place to work.
And what was that? It was fabulous. The fabric looked beautiful. What are you making?
Thank you. This is the first garment that is going to be in my September New York Fashion Week show. I can finally announce. I think I spoke to you last time I was here about the thrift store projects I was doing where I would buy a dress at the thrift store and I would upcycle it and give it back to the thrift store so somebody gets a designer dress and they get to know the story of it. So it ended up that People Magazine wrote an exclusive article with the title, Designer Finds Goodwill Dress, and makes it something new, something to that extent. And it turns out the CEO of Goodwill, ShopGoodwill.com, saw the article and reached out to have a collaboration with me. And they're the e-commerce side of Goodwill Industries. And we're now doing a New York Fashion Week show together.
Congratulations, Evan. That is absolutely wonderful.
Thank
See
you.
how your good idea, when put into the right hands, can change the world?
And I thought it was like a silly thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't a silly thing. You're doing good things, and I love shining a light on you, what you're doing for the community. You're one of my favorite people in the world.
Oh my gosh, you as well.
And happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's how a birthday should be celebrated. Being able to be in service to others, doing great things to make the world a better, beautiful place. That must have been some outreach. How did you feel when you read that?
I couldn't believe it. First, I thought it was like a joke or someone
Right.
posing as ShopGoodwill.com.
Right.
But when I found out the implications of what I did, and because like I said, I thought it was just a silly project. I told my publicist about it later and was like, want to know this funny, silly thing I did? And it had this massive ricochet that I guess ended up on the desk of the CEO of ShopGoodwill.com. And we're involving Goodwill stores in it. There's going to be like a shop component to it. We're going to auction off the dresses afterwards to support their
Great.
causes. So
Great. Well, you know that you'll have our full support too. So I'm excited to work with you on
it
that.
wouldn't be a fashion show unless I had my Donna Drake family and the Donna Drake there.
I love you, Evan
I
Hirsch.
love you so much.
Stay tuned.
Oh my god, that was so wholesome. That was so cute. Okay, I had to step away because my throat is just horrible. I've been talking literally
More.
for the past
Oh,
almost 10 hours. I started working at what time did I work? At 8, and then I got off at 3, and then I came onto the stream at 4, and it's almost gonna be 7. So I've been working technically for 10 hours, and I'm a receptionist, so I work the entire day, and I'm mostly nonverbal most days because I'm so introverted. But Mr. Mo, thanks for jumping on. If you've jumped off already, it's okay. But yeah, I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thanks for being involved and listening and contributing and chatting. But yeah, you should definitely come on in Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you have a shift? Hopefully you're not too miserable during your shift. I followed you and I hope I could see you soon again. Very courteous, Mr. Mo. Very curious. Who is Mr. Mo? Who knows? Okay, but we're gonna move on. Sound like I smoke. Sounds like I smoke. I don't smoke. It's just I've been talking for almost 10 hours. It's not gonna be a fun day tomorrow. I also go to work tomorrow. Oof. Okay, so let's see, what else shall we talk about? So I do want to follow Mr. Evan. I'm not logged into the Instagram right over here on the laptop, so I'm gonna do it on my phone. Evan, you should follow him too. He seems like such a great, genuine guy, and like very fun to be around. Very committed to his art form. 176,000 followers on Instagram. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So I already follow him, so we shall move on. So let's talk about some other stuff before we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Gentle Monster, and they have a lot of interesting buildings coming up. Like, for example, Seoul, they have this building. It looks like a comb. It's a 14-story building, which houses retail experiences not just for the innovative eyewear brand, but also for other brands. That's so cool. There is a Gentle Monster storefront, and in LA, and I wanted to go so bad. But I couldn't because I'm not in LA. It looks so much fun. Look at this huge dog. That's so cute. They're very artistic. Gentle Monster for the win. Their creative direction is off the walls, crazy. That teacup goes wild. What is that banana? Wait, I would love to have a tour. Can someone take me right now? Okay, let's see if there's any YouTube videos on it, and then I'll show you the LA storefront that they had. I wanted to go. It was all over TikTok too. This? No, it's not that, is it? No. Oh, is this one of them? This is just one shop. This isn't the shop. It's just one shop. It's so creative. It just makes me want to buy whatever they're selling. You can see the sunglasses are so boring in comparison, but their marketing and their art, it's so compelling. It makes me want to go in the store, you know? Ah, I love it. I love it a lot. Okay, let's see the one in LA, because I don't see anything about the actual building in Seoul. Sadly enough, why? Someone make a video ASAP. The picture's not enough. Oh, what if they have something on TikTok? TikTok is on it. If you want to know anything, just go on TikTok. Okay, let's see. Hurry. Gentle Monster just kind of came up out of nowhere too. Like, I didn't know about them, and then they just captured my heart immediately.
All right, and this is the compilation.
Oh my gosh. Video proves Georgia man didn't try to kidnap child at Walmart. Oh my god. Why? TikTok? I don't want to see that. My For You page is very intense. Okay, they have a tour. Oh my god. I want to go right now. This is the new building they just came up with. Wow. Oh, the dog moves. be in there all day. I would not leave. This is almost like a museum. This is literally a museum in a store. What? Look, the dog moves. Wow. I'm obsessed, like quite literally.
If you guys are as big of Gentle Monster fans as we are, you have to visit their experimental project in Seoul called Haus Nowhere. Here, the glasses label explores what the future of retail might look like and allows us to break away from what we already know. This project takes place in Il Combine's 14-story headquarters. The theme for the building is The Future Return, which is reflected in its futuristic design with the building in and out. While we might know Gentle Monster, the building offers an additional 3 other brands to experience: Tabarins, Atisu, and Udaki's newest concept, Tea House. Tabarins is an elegant perfume brand showcasing a new collection titled Sunshine. Udake mixes futurism and brutalism for Tea House, which is a carefully curated space and different from your typical tea house. Atisu is a headwear brand focusing not just on caps, but a knitwear combination. If you're in Seoul, this is truly a must-go place. If you guys
Take me to Seoul. Ugh, get me out of the United States ASAP. Please. I need it right now. Why them? Why not me? Why them? See, that's so cool. What even is that though? It's an alien? Kind of reminds me of Men in Black. Wow. That credit card is so cool. I mean, overconsumption, right? But like, this is different. Look at the doggy. I'm low-key obsessed. I'm just gonna watch this for the rest of the live stream. We're just gonna talk about this. Body yaddy yaddy. Body yaddy yaddy. Oh. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Can I go on a business trip and call it like my job to go here? I need it right now. Okay, so if I'm gonna ever support a brand, it's gonna be Gentle Monster. There, I've said it. It's me being part of this capitalistic society. The only brand I will mindlessly consume from is Gentle Monster. There, I said it. I said it. Then their LA pop-up. Oh, I loved it. I wanted to go. And no, it's not up anymore, I think. Oh, look at this. Gosh, I want to go so bad. See, I would never live in LA, but I would go to these events in a heartbeat. And it was a Bratz collab too. This girl is living my life. And I'm just sitting here watching. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. See, they have so many different little shops, and it's so cute sometimes. But I really wanted to go to this pop-up one. It was a Bratz one, living Bratz stream in LA. Like, who wouldn't want that?
cream top coffees, and for this weekend only, they brought in Seoul's viral mini croissants. Starting today until June 15, they're celebrating the launch of the Pocket Collection, and it's iconic. This special Bratz collab is featuring the doll Jenna. This pop-up is not just for shopping, it's a full-on experience. Come dressed, come early, don't forget your pockets. I love trying on all the glasses. They are foldable into your pockets, into keychains, and so adorable. My favorite experience have to be this AI generated Bratz version of you, and it's so adorable. It gave me bangs, oh my god. Tag your besties, we're living out our Bratz dream on Melrose. They have more than just a Pocket Collection there, but if you buy something from Pocket Collection, you could buy the Jenna Bratz doll. For parking, there are plenty of meters around, but read carefully on the signs, some of them become valet. I personally recommend this parking screenshot for address. Thank you so much, Gentle Monster, for the invite. Cream top coffees, and for this weekend only, they brought in Seoul's viral mini croissants. Starting today until June.
She's living my dream life, and I hate that I can't go. LA is so expensive, though. It's so expensive. So, like, is it even worth living in LA to go to these events? No. But if I could go to, like, some cool things that I like, I'd be there. But I mean, often enough we don't need these products, but for this one, I would have made the exception. It's so much fun. I mean, it's so unnecessary, but like, this would be fulfilling your inner childhood dreams. Am I right or am I right? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna move on before I spend 500 hours. But the stores are all so cool in their concept, like very futuristic, very fun. Like they have the weirdest assortment of products, and I really like unique products. I really like one-of-a-kind items. I like having fun when I go and experience something. I like individuality. So this brand just kind of aligns with like what I look for. And if I could find this on Depop used, like I would ideally buy it used. So I think it's just like a matter of patience, but I would go to the stores to visit to like get the experience, basically almost like a museum. I want to see if they have any Dental Monster and women's accessories. Let's see what comes up. Oh, they do. Okay, and they're cheap. $16. Oh, okay. 109. Wait, why was this one $16? Oh, so there's 200. Oh my god, they're so pricey. These are kind of cool. I like these. The purple ones. I would wear those. But they're normal sunglasses, right? Why are they so expensive? Wow, they're a bit pricey. They're a bit pricey. How much do they normally retail for? I'm probably going to jump off the live stream soon just because my voice is leaving me. And I cannot talk anymore. I've been talking for 10 hours. Oh. You get immediately hit with a guy rocking out or having a seizure. Or both. Okay. Rage bait. He got rage baited. Is that a woman? Oh god. That's not a human. That's a guy. That's a person. Okay. Oh, these are cool. $450 for some sunglasses? Okay. Alright. What are we doing? Why? Where? Oh, these are cool. I wouldn't wear... Is that a woman or a man? I'm so confused. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I don't want to misgender. When would we wear these, though? Good question. Good question. Where would we wear these at? These are cool. I like these. I would wear these. $330 is a hefty cost, though. They're very luxury fashion price-esque. You know, that range is very lofty for me to cover. If I wore these, I'd feel like I sat on them. Why are they going upwards? Why are they going up and away? These are very interesting. These sunglasses are over here, but when I click on it, it doesn't let me buy it. They only sell glasses, I think. That's all they do. They're business sunglasses. $315. These are cool. $360. See, I don't really wear sunglasses. I just like their store more than what they sell. That's what it's coming down to. I know it sounds mean, but yeah, I would buy them used on Depop. These are pretty cool. 189. It's too much. It's too much. And all their more unique pieces are not really on Depop. These are foldable. Oh, that's cool. I really like these. These are cool. That's a look. That's a vibe. Yeah, I like this a lot. I just don't want to get scammed if I buy them on Depop. But they do have like the papers for them, which is cool. Like the little package. Nice. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Is there any other buildings that they got going on? Because I would love to visit. Oh, Gentle Monster in Chicago, maybe? Do they have a Chicago base? Oh, I should go on a weekend. Wow, if they do, I'll go. Tell me they got a Chicago location, please. Do they? Is this Chicago? They must have a Chicago location. They must. I think I'm losing the plot by going into the webs of all these videos. But I do want to know. I do want to know. Also, they have a Disney location in downtown Chicago that I really want to go to. Chicago. Chicago. No, I don't see anything. I don't really see a Chicago popping up with Gentle Monster. It just sucks to suck, huh? Okay, well, we're gonna move on. There is no Gentle Monster shop in Chicago, so I'm gonna keep these streams very well tucked away in LA and in Seoul, so other people can enjoy this brand and buy their overpriced, you know, sunglasses. I'm just gonna sadly move on. We're just gonna move on and talk about, oh my god, this clothes designed for Haus style architecture. I saw this post by this very interesting Instagram account called The One of One, and they called it Archisuits. They called it Archisuits, which is a new term. It's a conceptual term, but that's what their Instagram posts are all about. But basically, they explain that they made, or a designer made, clothing that's basically a wearable architecture, and these surrealistic suits literally make you disappear into the city. And they were designed by artist Sarah Ross, and each piece is cut to fit against benches, fences, and the corners of urban space. So they're part fashion, part performance art, part social commentary, and they explain it's about blending in with the infrastructure in places where urban design is against comfort, like anti-homeless architecture. And to kid you not, I go to Chicago and they have the most horrendous benches. Your butt cheeks are hanging on, basically, and you go and do something and there's no benches where the trains are at. So like, if it's okay, there's two options. Let me clarify. There's very uncomfortable benches that you can barely sit on. You're flying, basically. Or there's nothing at all. Like, give us a rest. Chicago is a very, very walkable city. And sometimes you just don't want to walk, or you just want to sit. There is no sitting in Chicago because they're anti-homeless. Here, let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Anti-homeless architecture in Chicago. Why did I get a Texan accent? I don't know. Anti-homeless. Because that's essentially what it is. Hostile architecture is anti-homeless architecture. That's really it. Anti-homeless architecture. Chicago. Chicago. Yes, I say Chicago like a Chicagoan because I'm from Chicago. Also, NYC is really known for this, but I've seen it increasingly in Chicago as well. Okay, it's coming. I see it. I should take pictures next time I'm in downtown. But they don't really talk about that on the internet for... Oh, wait, what is going on? Downtown anti-ICE protest blocks traffic. Uh-oh. Wait, let's see what's going on. Guys, Am I supposed to be joining? This is what's happening in my city right now. Oh, it's huge. You know what's a... There's no noise? I can't hear anything. I'll just mute it. But you know what's a really interesting thing that happened to me in work today? Chicago is supposed to be like a sanctuary city. I went to sanctuary school. I used to give my time there all the time in terms of like giving food to the homeless in downtown Chicago. I know downtown Chicago like the back of my hand. What is going on? That is not me, guys. See, I'm usually the one with internet problems, and that was not me. Do not blame me for the glitchy internet. That was on them. What are you doing? I know all these blocks. I know how to get from point A to point Z to Y to B. Like, I know it all, bro. I walked these streets to give food out to the homeless as part of an outreach group for my ministry. Yes, I was a Catholic nerd during college. And, yes, it's unfortunate what's happening. I'm anti-hate. I'm anti-hate for the homeless. I'm for the homeless. I want them to have the best life ever. I think they've gone through many misfortunate events, have had a lot of bad luck, maybe a lot of trauma, a lot of lack of support. It's been very unfortunate, their stories, the ones that I've heard at least in my life. And no one wants to be homeless. No one wants to be marginalized. No one wants to be suffering. I think we all want a chance in life. And that was one of the main reasons why I'd go and help in downtown Chicago, even if I was double majoring. It's because I believe that people should always be helped no matter what circumstances they are. Just because you have the least doesn't mean you're the least value to our society. I think people inherently have value that will never leave them, no matter their race, no matter, their financial situation, no matter where they're from. Like, we all have inherent value. And I see everyone as equal. It's just what's happening right now with the Chicago protests is just an example of how people are tired of the racism, of the oppression, of the surveillance culture that we have. And people are standing up. Like today at work, they're like, oh, do you have your real ID? I was like, bro, why is he asking me political questions? Like, it's not inherently a political question, but I was just asking for an ID to sign him up for a gym membership. Like, you don't have to be talking about real IDs with me. Like, you have your ID, you showed it to me. Like, shut up, But I can't tell him that. Like, I can't be like, sir, I don't want to know the details about a real ID. And he was going on tangents, and you could tell, like, the ICE situation and, like, immigration was on his mind. And then when he was walking away, he was like, oh, well, they can't detain me now because I have a real ID. I'm like, I wanted to tell him so badly, you're a white man. You're not going to get profiled. You know who's going to get profiled? Me. Because I don't look that completely white. I'm white passing, but I'm not white. Like, I gotta dye my hair blonde and pretend to be fake and, like, talk small talk at work and, like, act fake preppy. That's not who I am, though. Like, I'm not gonna, like, pretend to be someone I'm not. My voice is also naturally deep. And, like, you can clearly tell I don't, like, participate in the carrot and white culture that every other person in that space has. And I think it was a microaggression, because he could tell it was a bit different than everyone else in that gym. But everyone deserves to have a good life. The ICE protests, they need to keep on doing that, Like, they need to keep fighting against repression and violence and surveillance culture and racism. What's happening right now is horrendous. Detaining people just based on the color of your skin and how you look. And you can be an American citizen and they still question it. And you have to prove something with a certain ID. Like, what is going on? What is going on right now? What is going on? And then on top of that, we got, like, hostile environments. Like, let these homeless people live. So let's watch this. Let's watch this. This was from a year ago. Oh wait, actually I have to share my screen. There you go. Like, why? How are you gonna sit and lay on those benches? Like, people just need a place to rest.
What the heck are these things? And why are there 5 of them?
The goal was to prevent homeless from sleeping under this bridge. Instead, it backlashed with outrage from the town.
Armrests in the middle of benches to large rocks added underneath bridges. Homeless advocates call these designs hostile architecture or anti-homeless.
In London and Paris, you see spikes on windowsills. In D.C., a curved bench.
Hostile architecture is when cities put features in the architecture to try to keep homeless people away.
Spikes that would hurt people seemed like a bad idea.
So this looks like a metal covering for the subway vent, which is underneath it. At first I thought it was a bench, but you can really only sit on this corner of it. You'll notice that the top of this is incredibly uneven. And then there's these raised ridges, which are on all 5 of them. And what happens if you try to lay down on it? Is that even possible? Oh, that is like the most uncomfortable thing I've ever experienced. This ridge right here is going into my spine, and that's on purpose, and this is called hostile architecture. And critics of hostile architecture say that usually these types of installations are cruel and unnecessary because they target the needy. And we're gonna look at a whole bunch of examples of this. Subway benches that serve no purpose, a train station designed to make you go crazy, and several parks that look nice, but were designed to be so uncomfortable that you'll leave after 5 or 10 minutes, and they're all here in New York. Now, hostile or defensive architecture consists of public installations like this, which are designed to do one thing while preventing another thing. This right here is a normal uncovered subway grate, and in the wintertime when it's cold out, someone with nowhere to go might want to use an area like this to help keep warm because warm air comes out of here. And right now, New York City is experiencing record homelessness. And lately, both private developers and the city have been building all sorts of things like this, but they've got to be really sneaky about it, because when I found out what these were, it made me pretty uncomfortable to realize that they were specifically designed to stop people who have nothing from staying warm in the wintertime. Is that okay? And sometimes when cities build stuff like this, people find out and get really upset. And that's what happened 2 years ago when the city started introducing hostile architecture to the subway system. This is the 23rd Street and 6th Avenue subway stop, and it looks like a normal subway station, but it was the site of heated controversy when the city subway, the MTA, introduced hostile architecture to this station. A couple years ago, riders noticed that the benches in this very same platform were suddenly removed. And as you can imagine, people were not happy about that, not only because of how cruel it might seem towards certain individuals, but also because the elderly, people who are pregnant, there's other people that need benches in the subway too, and this was a quality of life hit for everybody on this platform. And the benches were originally along this wall, and look at what the replacement is. Is this even a replacement? I mean, you can lean on it. I guess this is better than leaning yourself against the wall, which might be dirty. It has spots for 4 leaners. Now, there are 2 benches in this platform, which were put back after the city realized that their decision had outraged people. But even these have elements of hostile architecture in them. Look at these armrests. All you can do is sit here. You can't lay down. This is only like 2 feet wide. Its only purpose is for sitting. It is hostile to any other intended use. Look, you can't even be that wide in here. Some people even suggested the city had violated the Americans with Disabilities Act by removing the benches. And this isn't the first time the city had done something like this. Check this out. A year earlier, the city had removed all of the seat backs from the benches on a subway station just a couple blocks south of this one. The city claims that once they did that, they saw a reduction in the number of people loitering on the platform, along with an increase in the number of passengers who were on the platform waiting for trains. But by removing the seat backs from the benches that were already there, they essentially did exactly what this is by creating something that's less functional and lowers everyone's quality of use when they're in the subway. And I'm noticing that this is a trend because look at all the people standing with nowhere to sit. You see these concrete patches right here? There was something here. It was probably a bench. It looks to be about that wide. There's one other over here by the door, and there are no benches anywhere else. Just one more spot to lean right over there. And before we look at how now the city is using these same type of designs at a brand new train station and a bunch of public parks. It's important to understand that this is exposing the dark side of this type of architecture, because there might be benefits as far as the orderliness of the subway system is concerned, but New York City gets pretty cold in the wintertime, and the subway is a place where needy New Yorkers go when they have nowhere else to go so that they don't freeze. And yes, the city has shelters, but they have a rather poor reputation, and because of New York's asylum crisis, the shelter system's already maxed out. And since the shelters are perceived as being dangerous, it makes tons of sense that people would rather take their chances in a place like this. And removing subway benches doesn't do anything to make people less homeless. They're still homeless, even if you remove the benches, and they've still got nowhere to go. And most critics of these types of policies
the cruelty inflicted by politicians is enormous. And this is just one example. Republicans, man. What the heck is wrong with them?
but they don't really think it's fair to take from people who already have so little. And the city's subsequent removal of benches here and reinstallation of different benches, that basically let the city know that if they're gonna do stuff like this, they've gotta be sneakier about it, and they have been, as we're about to see. Isn't that wild? This is a pretty impressive train station, but there are some serious problems with it that we'll get into. But first, it's important to understand that many aspects of this design and other hostile designs are nice. Nice to look at, not necessarily nice to use. But this is called the Moynihan Trail, and it is the newest train station in New York City. Building it cost over $1 billion, and it was completed just a couple of years ago. It also has this gorgeous glass ceiling, which is a throwback to Penn Station's original design. Penn Station is where Madison Square Garden is. That's directly across the street. And this is what that used to look like. And as far as train stations go, this is pretty nice. Look, there's a full Walgreens in here. There's an eatery with a bunch of restaurants, the ticketing areas, everything here's gorgeous. But there's one glaring flaw. And no, it's not that fixing the expensive glass roof is something that takes a while and is hard to do. Look at the size of that cherry picker they got right there. Do you see the problem? There's no seats. And that's why every single person in this $1 billion terminal is standing. And it's a train station. The only thing there is to do here is wait for things to happen, not a seat in the whole place. Do you think they should put some benches in here so people have a place to sit?
Elise says hostile architecture is rampant over the city, even spikes on sides of buildings where people might even lean against. Yeah, it's so sad how this is happening everywhere, like even in Chicago and other cities. Like the anti-homeless rhetoric is just increasing, and I think it's inherently political what's happening. It's just you can't blame the homeless for what they're going through. Like they're simply looking, you know, to find a place to rest, and the spikes, ultimate example of violence against them, of treating them with very inhumane conditions in a city that they're left to basically, you know, fight in. Like they're fighting for a chance to survive. It's like Hunger Games out there. You can't even let them rest.
It's a great idea.
It is, right?
That is a great idea.
Did you know they spent over $1 billion making this and they didn't put benches?
Not a single bench.
I may not even know if I'm live streaming still because my laptop just died, but at least, like, yeah, this is happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere, and it's really sad to see. Let's see. If I'm still live streaming, yay! My laptop that controls everything just died. Let's see. It'll come back alive right now.
They have those lounges over there, but that's for people that have tickets.
Yeah, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Like Spirit Airlines.
Right.
Oh, you want a seat? You gotta pay. Now, having no benches could be a ploy from these corporations to get you to go inside and spend money. And it seems to be working. There's a lot of people over here. But the lack of seating is a deliberately hostile choice. People just plop their stuff down on the floor. And if you're wondering why nobody's trying to sit on the floor, that's because security will find you and make you stand up. And to be fair, this old image of Penn Station, look, I see some seats down here at the bottom.
We're scary and scary times. I don't know the last time that benches hurt anyone. When was the last time it hurt anyone to just like lay down and sleep? I mean, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, Elise. It's just happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. I really liked how he breaks this down too. Very informative.
So maybe there were more seats there than there are here in its reimagination. But you know, the old station is mostly open space. And what that could mean is that open space is a great Spartan design for a public train station in New York City. And you know, the way to answer that is to go across the street to the ugliest building in town, which is also a train station. Look at that, it's the same deal. 1 hour limit, and you gotta have a ticket to get into the waiting area. And everyone else in this beautiful piece of New York City architecture is standing or walking. I love the 1970s aluminum ceiling. The floor reminds me of my elementary school. And look at this, these are those crazy old school drop tile ceilings. Now this certainly isn't modern, new, or fancy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's eerily similar to what's across the street, because all this open space with no seats, that's hostile architecture. At least the new monitors are bright, but this is another design where absolutely nothing about it is meant to be comfortable. Luckily, there are seats inside some of the little restaurants over here, which you'll be paying for. And look at this, the wall is even roped off for some reason. Maybe it's because they've got this fancy tile and this artwork on it, and they don't want people who have nowhere to sit leaning on it. But back in 2020, loitering in this station and in Grand Central caused economic issues for small businesses that are here paying rent. And in addition to building things in a way that is not conducive to comfort in any manner, the city stepped up security. But unfortunately, this is a 24-hour facility, and those most negatively impacted.
Ellie says, I missed the first part of the video, but it may have been mentioned, but adding armrests to the benches to prevent people from laying down is another diabolical example. Yeah, they covered it over here. Let me show you. So that bench, this right here, the armrest, just prevents them from laying down. It's so cruel, man. It's so cruel. It angers me.
Texture in them. Look at these armrests. All you can do is sit here. You can't lay down. This is only like 2 feet wide. Its only purpose is for sitting. It is hostile to any other intended use. Look, you can't even be that wide in here. Some people even suggested the city had violated the Americans with Disabilities Act by removing the benches. And this isn't the first time the city had done something like this. Check this out. A year earlier, the city had removed all of the seat backs from the benches on a subway station just a couple blocks south of this one. The city leads north to south along Manhattan's west side, with some areas being akin to a nature walk and others doubling as observation points. Isn't that cool? You can look down here, see the street, take in the views. It's definitely a beautiful park. If you're ever around here, you should come out here and walk on it and sit on it. And from time to time, they will put in very bizarre art installations, like this pink tree, which probably symbolizes something. Also of note, this is a
You can only
private.
You can only be here for 15 to 30 minutes. I feel like it's just a whole design by the city to prevent homelessness. It's just, you can't really fix homelessness by pushing them out. Like, where are they gonna go? They're left to live on the streets because they have nowhere else to go. Also, there's a lot of anti-homeless rhetoric in my workplace because people simply need a place to be. They need to recharge their phones. They want just like a safe place, and where I work, it's a very like wholesome, very well lit place, and maybe they think they're not putting too much attention to themselves, but we were running around the whole day because there was problems with our software and stuff. So the homeless person was basically discovered to be loitering, but they just want to recharge their phone. They just want to use the internet for a second. And then I had to tell my manager because someone else was upset about the homeless person. I was like, fine, I'll tell my manager. And I get it. It's like a private business, but let them be for a second without being like, this person is loitering. Like, give them a second. They'll leave eventually. Like, they're not going to like camp out there for the rest of their lives. Especially within a park though. Like, within a park it's a bit different. Like, they just want to sit. They just want to breathe. They don't have anywhere to go. Sometimes the only time they have to sleep is during the day because at night they're like out and about, or who knows what they're going through. So when I saw this Instagram post about clothes designed for hostile architecture, I found it very interesting because it plays on this very aggressive design by the city and by politicians to push this idea of like anti-homelessness and basically unlivable conditions for those in the streets. Like, this looks so comfy. I don't know how she would walk in this clothing, but it looks so comfy and it's attached to her. But again, it's like playing with the idea of the armrests that doesn't allow you to lay totally on the bench. And then this one, it allows you to sit on the on the ledge. She has an extra foot cushion. I love it. Oh look, okay, so this is what it looks like hanging. Just need to take my tracksuit with my butt cushion so I can lie down on the bench today. Can we give these away to the homeless? I think they would actually put them on, but it would basically ridicule their circumstances. I wouldn't give this out to anyone. It's just, this is like the times that we've come to. We need a butt cushion to be able to sit on the ledge. Oh my god. More designs so that you can like actually use the stuff outside. But yeah, Sarah Ross made this, found it very funny, but also like it's social commentary and it's an art form. It's yeah, very compelling during very scary political times, and it's been happening all over, not just New York but everywhere. And I think the effect that Trump has had has been very scary. A lot more people feel entitled to be a lot more cruel, a lot more racist, a lot more, I guess, oppressive in their beliefs. I see it all the time with the boomers, especially with the white men. I'm like, bro, where do you get this audacity from? Like, you got handed everything in the 80s and 90s. You destroyed our earth in the process. And then you wanted to come and look at us and be like, oh, you're dirty and you're like lazy and you should go back to your country. Like, bro, why don't you just call yourself really, really fortunate that you're handed everything? And then they're talking about, oh, you need to be a hard worker. How can we get ourselves out of poverty during a recession and when no one is hiring, when they're paying like $15 an hour? And then the houses are so expensive, everything is so expensive. We can't work ourselves out of poverty given the prices. Like, we can work really, really hard. We can live paycheck to paycheck, but it don't be looking that good after you get your paycheck. That's barely enough to survive. Someone says architecture for the win. Oh my gosh. True. Oh my god. The biggest irony, someone else says, clothes impossible to wear for places impossible to inhabit. Oh my gosh. That's so true. So true. The ultimate irony. That does look comfy though. I feel tempted to wear that. What if I make this and I go and do this in Chicago? That'd be so funny. That would be the funniest IRL stream. Making clothes designed for hostile architecture in Chicago, Illinois. Come join me. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I think that's one of the last things I'm going to talk about today. Yeah, I think I've covered everything else I want to talk about. Yep. Yes, sir. And it's 7:20 Central Time and my time. I've been talking for almost 10 hours and a half today. The introvert's dilemma presents itself once more. I wish I had more energy, always. I wish social stuff gave me more energy. If it did, I'd be here 24/7. But unfortunately, I have a social battery that drains. But thank you so much for joining me. I will be back on for more news chats Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time. But I will be gaming tomorrow. I'll be trying a new Bratz game. Still haven't chosen it. I'll decide tonight. But thank you for joining, even if it was for a minute or for hours or for a moment. Like, whatever you did, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And hopefully you learned something. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye. See you later. See you.